Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tony's Temple. My name is Tony, and today I have two hosts, Andrew and Toby. You guys want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, it's Toby here.
And this is Andrew. I'm Tony's friends from work, and I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't really do much besides work out and go out, honestly.
And play WoW?
Yeah, well, not anymore. That was in the past. That was the old days of me and Toby, but yeah, no.
Now it's all about just working out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, not like I'm focused on that a lot. It's just like I feel like I kind of outgrew the games type thing. Like burnt myself out. I mean, I still enjoy games. I'm not going to say I'll never play again, which I think would be a bold-faced lie, right? But I think it's definitely kind of in like the twilight days type thing, you know.
Bro, so. I think everybody goes through that phase eventually because like at one point I used to play League of Legends all day, every day. That's all I can talk about. The only time I could ever make a metaphor is like League related. That's the only way I can tell people. You know, anything. I got burnt. I got burnt out from that shit as well. So I stopped playing League. So I completely get where you're coming from. So
no. I remember actually when we met at work, you had the Gangplank figure on your desk.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, he's still up there. Oh, yeah. I think he's up there.
Yeah, I think that's Nautilus, right? Yeah,
no, Nautilus and Gangplank. He's up there somewhere.
Okay, I see Naut, but not Gangplank. But no, I remember that's how I started talking to you. It was pretty fire introduction, honestly. And then I went to your birthday party too. It was fun. It's a fun time.
Good times. Yeah, I known Andrew for a hot minute, and like we shared a lot of common thoughts, and we had a lot of discussion about stuff before. We're on the same page about a lot of stuff. Just to start off today's conversation, I originally had this question asked in my previous podcast, but I never got like a full answer. So I kind of want to see a different perspective from like you guys, because right now I'm currently dating. Right, so I want to know what's going on in the dating sphere for like other people.
Okay,
because I originally asked my brother, and he's married, and he has his two thought, cheesy, find the one that you love, blah 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 blah. But that's from a perspective of someone that's married.
Yeah. Right.
So like from you guys, like there's some things I want to like understand from you guys' perspective, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think honestly, mine, I kind of had like my dating life, I guess, has been very I think sporadic isn't the word, but like I went through different types of dating, right? Like so
like hookups and then like
so I will say I think when I'm going out, so I'll start in high school. In high school I didn't really date anybody. Had a lot going on in high school and at home. And in college, when I played lacrosse, I kind of was definitely a little bit of a man whore type thing for the better part of 2 years, and it gets tiring, not physically obviously, but just like kind of mentally dealing with a lot of different girls, right?
Yeah.
And I never really had like a real relationship of substance, I guess, actually until like this past year, and I wouldn't even really call it like a good relationship. It was like 6 months. Didn't really work out. We didn't have the same goals, you know.
Right.
And I think the person I was dating to, she was going through a lot of stuff at home, and you can't really devote yourself to someone else, when you're always doing that. But I kind of broke up with her just because of not I respect her stuff at home and helping her out, but it was just I think we were at two different points of our life. I will say I went through kind of like the going out phase, and that was like how I met women, and then I did a lot of the when I used to play games a lot. There were just girls, honestly, that would just randomly message me just off of playing with them, like off of like in Discord and stuff like that, and like the the e-dating type thing. I will concede.
Wait, what in the hell is e-dating? You dating somebody, but you don't see them in person?
Yeah, and okay, so the one time that I did talk to a girl like solely over the internet, it was I did visit them once. I think I was telling a story last night actually.
Like a long distance vibe.
Yeah, but it just again like that was actually in the twilight days too of like me playing games, and I was like very respectful to her. I was like, listen, you're cool, but I can't do some long distance thing. Like I'm like I was at the time 24, 25, and I was like I can't really do this, And then
sorry to interrupt.
No,
I don't remember the detail, but someone said that like if I don't remember the exact numbers, but when it comes to long distance, there's like an 80% chance it's not working out.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be like, the few that will work out, but just statistically speaking, it usually doesn't. It has nothing to do with like the individual.
Oh.
It's just the distance pulls a lot of strain into a relationship, and then like it's just. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very against long distance relationships, but I mean, statistically speaking, relationships in general, 20%. You're saying like 20% of them succeed. That sounds like a pretty solid number if that's true.
Yeah.
Like 20% of them, like what do you mean 80%? Like
80%
just fall apart. Like what?
It just doesn't work out.
20% just like lasts forever.
I mean, that's the thing.
It's like a hard thing to gather stats on.
Yeah,
It is. But I mean, just by hearing that, okay, so would it be easier to find somebody through, let's say, at a bar, right?
Yeah.
So just with that logic, I'm assuming if you met somebody at a bar and you're able to commit a relationship and see each other physically without the long distance, the odds of you being in a relationship and the relationship lasting longer is higher than if you had met this person and they live like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, like the physical aspect's definitely like a huge part in relationships for, I mean, everyone, right? Unless you're like asexual or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like with long distance, I've done it once. Was not worth it. Would never do it again.
Mm-hmm. I think it just depends what type of person you are too. So like, because I think we're gonna talk a lot of different things, like probably like dating apps and stuff too. But the things that I'm talking about, I never really like suck out or seeked out or whatever, looked for, I guess would be the right word. Like a e-dating thing, I never really wanted to do that. It just kind of happened, you know what I mean? It's not like a thing that I was like, oh, like I love, e-girls or something. Like
it's so much easier.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I get you. No one says that.
And honestly, at that point in my life, though, it was easier actually, just like to organically meet a woman online and then just, like getting that feeling of like, attention or whatever. It's nice, but
was this pre-COVID?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
You mentioned bars too. I mean, I think the thing that draws a lot of people in as well, with like long distance and whatnot, meeting them online is like you're kind of already guaranteed similar interests. As like a bar, it's kind of just like a toss up who you're meeting, right?
Yep.
Could really be anything.
I mean, you can say the same thing about Tinder. You don't know any of these people.
Yeah. So I think Tinder is way different than like a
regular.
So just for the last point on the e-dating thing, for lack of better words, I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's just really dumb, honestly. And there's a lot of memes out of there of like e-daters sending each other like oh I can't wait to have sex with you and stuff like that. Like it's really just like you can only really do so much of that until like I'm bored type thing. And it's not because of you, but it's just because like I've only seen you like once or twice over the course of however long, right?
Right.
It depends how much you care for texting and whatnot as well. Like personally, I can't really stand texting. I'd rather just see like FaceTime at like the very
least.
Yeah.
So so I think, and then on the bar thing too, I think again it matters who you are. So like some people, I would say like Toby for example, like when we've gone out with him, even though like we are pretty good wingman duo, I'd probably say like he's a lot more chill and I am like very outgoing, like I'm dancing and stuff like that too. And a lot of the times the girls I talk to there is like result of like again an organic thing, like like dancing type stuff. It's not like me just going up to a pack of women and being like, hey ladies, even though happened once or twice, right? But I think the organic thing is really the big part of it, and that I think is why Tinder and Hinge and Bumble, all the dating apps, right, that you can go on, at least like the swipe apps, right? Like I think there's a difference between the swipe app and like eHarmony, right? Like eHarmony, I've never been on eHarmony, but like from what I gather from apps like that, it's kind of like you fill out like an extensive profile of who you are, right? And then they match you. Whereas swiping is literally just like you see. Sometimes you don't even go past the first picture of a person. You swipe left or swipe right, and then it's just like literally almost like speed dating. And then a lot of it too, and this is kind of a scumbag thing I've done recently, but I don't swipe left on anybody. I'll swipe right, and then Toy runs those swipes, and then they'll match with me, and then I'll either talk to them or just like remove them, right?
Right.
Maybe I don't like their appearance, or maybe because they have some crazy bio or something, right? But I think the reason why I'm doing that is not just because I'm an asshole. I think it's because when you're looking through girls on that, you can't really be like, oh, I like this girl, I hope she likes me back, because you can't just like her and then think about it and be like, oh, like, that girl was so cute, I wish she didn't like me back. It's just like, not, I think, healthy, one. And then 2 as well, I think you're there's a lot of problems with online dating, but it doesn't. Your profile often doesn't represent who you are. It's like a snapshot of who you are,
right?
But not necessarily who you're about, right? Or what you're about.
Yeah, I have a man. I don't know if this is a rant, but I have a lot to say. Pretty much what you just said. I was talking to my friend Billy about this on my previous podcast, but you know about the 80-20? Ever heard of it? I don't remember what it is, but like the 80. All right, so pretty much 20% of women, 80% of women, when they're on dating app, they are only pursuing the 20% of men.
Yep.
So if you are literally anything below than like average, like they immediately do not like.
Yeah.
They would not give you one lick of attention. And when I was single and I was using Tinder, I went through the exact same thing you went through, and like it's not because you're an asshole. It's because like you have to learn to play the system.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. Okay, so if I talk to a girl and I really like her, right? Either one, she doesn't match with me. Realize she's crazy and I can bounce, right? So if you keep on like being selective, you're never gonna find anybody.
Yep.
You know. So and it's only works if you are the top 20% men where you're able to choose who you want to be your partner. But most men don't get that like luxury.
Yeah.
And like I said, 20% of women are going with like 80% of the men, so which leaves all the other men kind of just like in the water.
Right.
So there's a lot of reason why people don't really use the apps anymore.
Yeah.
And with the comment you say about like the other non-swiping app, I recently heard there was this conservative dating app.
Okay.
So if you're conservative, right? You get on this app, you can find other conservative couples or other conservative people that are looking for the same thing. And initially, I thought that was kind of a good idea because in today's climate, if you're swiping right, and then you find a girl, I'm into polyamory, or I'm into like open relationship, and like all this shit is like appropriate,
all too real.
Yeah, you know, it's all like, this is the norm, this is the new thing. And like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to deal with like liberal ideas and like having polyamory and all that stuff. Like, I just want to have a regular relationship. And then like,
yep.
Is that too much to ask for?
No, I fully agree. So I was thinking about like in my head when I was like saying like, I swipe right on everybody and then like deselect some girls, so to speak, right? I swear like half of the girls I deselect are not because of their appearance. Like I'll get like a match with them, like, this girl's really cute. And this actually happened to me like I think like a month or two ago when I was just like swiping, and this girl messaged me. I was like, she's really cute. And I opened it up and it was like, I'm a polyamorous.
No.
And I'm like, God. And I just like didn't respond to her. I was like, I can't really do that. Because one, obviously, like, and this goes for anyone. This goes even for me too. Like, they don't know where I've been, right?
Right.
Like, I could have some clap or something, right? But that just like it increases the chance of them having it. And then two, also, it's just like you said, like, I'm more traditional in the sense of like a relationship, right? Like, even though most of my sexual encounters have been hookups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been like, I want to go on a dinner and a movie first, right? It's just like it happens and it's really not by choice. It's not like I would rather have like the latter, right, of like the more healthy relationship, but just
right.
in at least how it's been for me, I think it's harder. I think maybe you've been on more long term, I guess you could say, relationships, right? More longer terms than me, right, Toby? Or
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I guess to comment on like the polyamory thing, like normal's subjective. That's just not a normal I personally subscribe to or have any interest in either, personally.
Yeah.
And like what you're saying about that, like there's different ideologies. I mean, that's like a really big reason why the majority of my relationships have fallen apart.
Yeah.
Like, differences in religion or whatnot ending up being a bigger deal later on than initially.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
It's just like Future says, man, it's a cruel world out there, it's a cold world out there, and that little thing he says, but it's it really is just almost like a struggle. Not really. It's not like I'm not getting any. Like, I will say, like the interactions I've had on dating apps have all been hookups. Like, I haven't ever gotten past like the come over once or twice or three times. And
I might look. I might be able to answer that, right? So, if you ask a girl, what do you want? Do you think her response is going to match what her dad wants for her?
Heard that?
Yeah. Hell no.
It
right?
really depends. It really depends.
I highly
Probably
no,
not,
no,
probably not.
look,
It's impossible to say.
just hear me out. Hear me out. Right? Like, I don't know anything about women, but I'm just going to assume I've heard this shit, and I'll say this: it's not going to be the majority, but enough girl will say this. I want a man that is 6 foot tall, have a 6-pack, make 6-figure, and have a 10+ size ding dong.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think her response is going to be the same thing that her dad wants her? You know, when she's looking for a relationship. That's what I'm saying. You know, you're as a father, you're probably thinking like, okay, I want her to find a guy that is a suitable guy, respectable, you know, nothing crazy, right? But with the power of the internet and Tinder, you don't know these people. You don't ask these kind of questions. You just ask like, okay, I'm 6 foot tall, and like in like my appearance, that's all you're gonna see. So like when that's all these people can judge people off of.
Yeah.
You know, so like what? So do you want to commit someone that like you don't know any detail about? So it's best just to hook up, and just cross your finger, you find out. You know.
No, I agree, and I think again too. I think this is something that Toby said too. I think online dating is fundamentally based on something that doesn't really matter or doesn't really reflect your person, and that is texting. Texting is like, you know, I know you don't like doing it. I don't like doing it either, right? But it's like. And this is again like why I think maybe like a bar or something is it better for me at least, right? Because all the success I've had on dating apps, I've said something completely like not even borderline, like definitely like disrespectful stuff I would never even say to a woman in real life, right? And the reason why that is not because like I think it's funny or something. It's because it grabs their attention. You know, it's like. Like this one, oh my god, this one girl. I didn't end up doing anything with this girl at all, but she was cute, and she had like a shaved head, like not like to the skin, but kind of like an Amber Rose type of thing, right? Where her hair was like kind of buzz cutted, sort of. You know what I mean?
Is it a pixie cut?
Is that what that is? I don't know. Is that
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Short hair, that.
Yeah.
But okay. I don't think it's a pixie cut.
Like
it's a pixie cut. You still have hair.
No, it's not. No, she wasn't bald. She wasn't like Michael Jordan or anything. But she had a
I mean, details. Doesn't matter. But
anyway, she had like a very short buzz cut. It
Okay.
was essentially a buzz cut.
Okay.
And I remember the thing I said to her. I was like, has any man ever rubbed your head for good luck?
Damn.
She was like, LMAO. It was like really funny, and she responded right. But like, you know, that's just the type of stuff that you have to say, like to get like any attention, unless you're like what you're saying, the 20 of like the 6-pack and stuff like that. And I have some friends like that too. That like I have this one friend who literally probably has like 100 matches, right, or 100 likes, and he could just pick from the litter type thing. But you know, when you're not like that, then you can't really you don't have that luxury, you know. So
all right. Well, I was just gonna say there's two things that could go on with the whole why she thought you were interesting by insulting her. One, whenever a guy make risky moves, it shows a lot of confidence.
yeah.
Right. So when you say that, instead of someone say, "Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
What's your name? What's your
Exactly.
interest?" It's boring. You know, there's no risk in like getting to know someone. When you say some wild outlandish shit, they're like, "Oh shit, that's pretty funny." This guy has a lot of balls to say something like that. So, like another example would be if she gave you her number, you call her first instead of her calling you.
Yeah.
Because she like, "Oh shit, this guy has the balls to call me." Yeah, like that's one factor.
Yeah, and to be, I mean, like I will not try to defend the good luck, the rub your head for good luck thing.
Right.
But I did say like you're like a cute good luck ball or something. She's like, oh, like you know, like
okay.
And like so it wasn't like, even though it almost seemed like a bold-faced insult, I won't lie. Like it did work out at least
I don't really
for.
feel that that's even an insult, really.
It depends on the person. Some people
depends
can
on the
get
person.
yeah.
Some people get really mad and like you get screenshotted and posted on a group chat and laughed at, right? But like
shit.
you know, other times it works, right? I guess it semi worked, but I didn't really message her. I just can't do the short hair thing, and you're thinking like, oh, why did you message her then? A lot of it too is like practice. Is like
Right.
you know, like you just talk to girls and see what they fucking like and stuff, but it matters from, I think, woman to woman, I think too, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, it just makes me think, like you're saying, like this ideal of like 6 foot, rich, abs, sports car and whatnot. I mean, there's like same thing really for guys going towards women. Like, obviously, guys are gonna have their own standards
perfect.
that they hold women to. So I don't even think it's necessarily unfair for them to have their own set standards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's just probably easier for them to filter that on a dating app. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just gives them, I guess, the idea that that's more common than it is.
Yeah.
Especially social media, right? Broadcasting that is like a pretty big norm when really like who's 6 foot with like a 6-pack, their age making 6 figures. Not many people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And actually, it's
the same thing for guys though. I mean, really, like their standards for women, you know.
There's one thing I want to say, but I'll jump back to what you were saying. But I was saying earlier, just to finish my sentence, I just gotta get it out of my head. But you were saying, when you told her the thing, she thought she pretty much liked you. Yeah. Right. So the second theory of why that happened is she probably already found you attractive. Yeah. Because if you're an attractive man and you can come up to a girl in the middle of the street and you say something stupid, she'll laugh at you. Yeah. But if she don't find you attractive and you say the same thing that the other guy says, she probably find you creepy. Yeah. So attraction goes a long mile. Well, yeah, that's just finish my sentence. Okay. No. So Toby, just go back to what we were saying. All right. So both men and women want two different things, right? When it comes to dating world. Yep. I wanted to ask this in the podcast, and I'm glad that we're at this point. But like, what do you think? Okay. If you were to make an announcement to the women of the dating market, what do men want in women when they are on the hunt for dates?
I mean, it's subjective. Really, everyone wants their own different thing. Me personally, I just want realness, like honesty, and the ability to have decent conversation. Okay. And then not being fat.
Okay, see, that's a fair ask. Yeah. Right. So women can ask things from us, of like our physical body and stuff. We can do the same thing for them, right?
Yeah. No, and that's I mean, like, that's why like I work out. It's mainly like it used to be because of sports, but now it's literally because of women. That might sound sappy, and also makes you feel good. There's a lot of other components to it going to working out. Like it gives you confidence in your everyday life and like working in interactions and stuff like that too, right? But I mean, a lot of it is just for women, right? Like a lot of it, you have access to more women, the more better you look. You get it. But what was I gonna say? Oh, the 80-20 thing that you're talking about too. My friend actually, because my friend recently got like he has like a popular Tumblr or something, and he met this girl online and stuff. Has a girlfriend. It's like the first time in a long time he had a girlfriend, and I was just kind of venting to him. I was like, like lately I've been like on a dry streak. I'm kind of worried maybe like and he was like yeah and he said exactly what you did. He didn't even say that the 80-20 thing, but he said basically the same thing. He's like, if you think about it, how do you swipe on apps if you're not swiping right? If you're not me, you're thinking you will only swipe on like the most attractive girls, right? Pretty much. Now sometimes you'll swipe on like if you're actually going through again and like swiping on girls that you don't perceive to be the zenith of attractiveness, right? Okay. But if you think about the same thing, like you said, women are doing the same thing, like the 6-packs out, they're doing the same thing. So automatically that's, Xing out a lot of your interactions, right? Like they only want like the best. You only want the best. And because of that and how they could be perceived as different, I think removes a lot of your interactions. Also too, he said, I don't know if this is true, he said also he feels like there's a lot more guys in dating apps than girls. And I'm
of course.
I'm interested to see the stats on that. I feel like definitely like there is.
I wouldn't know because I only have my perspective, and it's not like there's a drought of women.
Dude, no, there's definitely not. Definitely not.
I mean, to answer your question, people want women. Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as that. Okay, if you have a club, right, full of like 50% women, there's going to be more people in the club. Yep. But if the whole club is 50% men, or how to word this? If there's more men than women in a club, that club ain't popping as like
that's why I call it a sausage fest. Cause there's too
many guys, right? But at the end of the day, like I keep saying this, but we all have like this lizard brain of like we instinctively know what we should do in life, and then like pursuing women as men, that's kind of what we're wired to do, and then
no, I agree. And the thing is too is like what were you talking about, like the appearance and stuff like that too, like the ideal guy. I think that kind of goes out the window too once you go in person. I remember there was this guy, I forget his name, but at my cousin's wedding in New Jersey, it was a couple years ago. I forget his name, but he was like the funniest dude I've ever talked to. It's just like literally, he seemed like a character out of a sitcom. Like, it was just, he was a hilarious guy, and he like looked like he was probably like 5'6" or 5'7". Okay, and he was fat, and he wasn't very like physically attractive, like in the face, I guess. Obviously, as a guy, you could tell, right? Like, even, anyway.
You can judge.
Yeah, you can judge.
I get it.
And I think me and my cousin's husband and her were just talking about all their random people that they know. And they were like, yeah, like this guy, referring to the guy I was just talking about, has had sex with more girls than anybody I know. And
What?
it's just because of his personality, right? It's just, again, because
Swag.
he probably goes... He has the confidence, because he's so funny, he probably, like, is the guy at the bar that hops into a pack of women and is like, hello, ladies, and, like, makes a funny joke when they're all laughing, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's to where I think, you know, in person, not necessarily a bar, but anywhere, is more organic, right? Because you are able to actually display who you are rather than, like, me. Like, I just have a picture of, like, I'm at the gym flexing, or, like, I'm in, like, a outfit that looks kind of... I don't know, like pretty like over the top type thing, you know, and
Well, okay, so if you think about it, like he didn't know how to do that day one.
No,
I'm sure he took a lot of practice and a lot of like experience just be like, okay, I have the confidence, I can just talk to people, and then, like if people don't want to talk to me, it's no big deal. But that's usually the first hurdle that men have to face, where you can't. It's how that word of like the feeling of being rejected, just like oh man, I don't want to talk to a girl. You know, so like, but you have to go through that phase in order to get like that level of confidence, like you're the guy you were explaining.
Yeah, no, for sure,
right?
And I think this also leads to like, at least for me personally, all the interactions I've had with girls in a sexual nature that are positive have all the most attractive ones have all come from in-person interactions, just because and I don't think I'm an inherently unattractive guy, to be honest, but like I think that it's just easier in person once they, you know, meet with you, dance with you, whatever it may be, right? It just happens. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, that's how humans have gone from cavemen to now.
Yeah.
They went into cave woman, unga bunga, dance, here's food, hunt, men dumb. You know, like they met in person, but we live in the future where you don't.
Society.
We live in a society, yeah. You know, like we don't get that physical interaction.
It's just like a comfort thing. Like guys, I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. It's just a lot more comfortable just being on a screen interacting with a woman for the first time than approaching, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying with rejection, I personally can deal with rejection fine. It's just, do I want to bother?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just know if a woman's into me than have to even put in that energy personally.
And what you're saying too, Tony, the Unga Bunga caveman thing. I mean, if you think about this too, I mean, we're in 2022 now, right? Like all of us pretty much like we're all under 30, and we're all like we're all used to this. Like we're used to Facebook,
right,
and Twitter, and Instagram. Oh, I DM a girl. Like I mean, even in high school in 2012, like, I would message all the hottest girls in my class. What's the homework? And like try to get their number, you know, and it worked or it didn't work. But if you think about it now, like the caveman thing that you're talking about, for the entire human history up until I guess when the first dating app was created, whether that be eHarmony or Tinder or anything, I think eHarmony was probably like dating apps like that. Or like Match, whatever.
It's been so long. I can't remember what the OG ones are, but yeah,
see,
I remember eHarmony.
But like the ones like that, like the big extensive filling out a profile thing, I think that was around before Tinder, and then Tinder I think was the first swiping app that just took it to an absolutely steroided level of like just rapidity and let's see this girl, let's see this guy, and until then. Guys had to do that. Like you would literally die alone if you didn't go up to packs of women in
arranged marriages and stuff too, like all sorts of different things.
Yeah, like if you didn't go up to packs of women in a social setting, whether that be and be like, oh hi, and then like make friends with them, and then eventually make a romantic relations with them. Right?
Bro, I just blew my own mind, man. I think we are the lucky ones where we had to like. We didn't have the internet back then, you know? Like, we had to look for girlfriends when we were, like, 16 and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's where a lot of my confidence are coming from, you know? But, like, we're finally hitting an age where that's not the thing. That it's swiping app is the thing now, you know?
Yeah,
like, where do you get the experience now?
I don't know. I mean, the people that just go out of their, like, comfort zone and, like, approach women in that old-fashioned way, I guess, for lack of a better term, probably have, like, a bit of an edge because I'm sure women prefer not meeting guys off apps just, like, most... Like, you said your anniversary was like the other day.
Yeah.
How long have you been together? And
I've been with Megan.
Where'd you guys meet?
I've been with Megan for about 2 years. People call it a COVID relationship.
You said about 2 years.
I'm sorry, 2 years. 2 years plus. But people call it the COVID relationship.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, we met each other before COVID, I think, and then yeah.
So where'd you guys meet?
We met through a friend.
A friend?
Yeah. Megan came back from Japan, so she was staying at one of her friends' place, and then oh my god, my cat's eating me. Ow. But yeah, she stayed at her friend's place, and I knew one of her friends, and she's like, hey, my friend's come back from Japan, let's go meet her. And like, there's a lot of minor details, but yeah, that's kind of where it mattered.
Okay.
So yeah, but I guess I got lucky with this one, man. Like it was one of those, I didn't have to go to a bar, I didn't have to swipe right, I just got lucky, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I think that's the healthier way. Just like
it is.
And in terms of meeting someone through a friend or even going out to a bar or meeting them in any social setting, it's more organic than Tinder, right? Because already it's
because like, imagine you're in your 50s, right?
Yeah.
And your kid asks you, hey dad, how'd you meet mom? Oh, what's swipe right? Like what?
Yeah, my most recent ex's mom met, like, they're in their 60s, met on Tinder.
Oh,
her stepdad, yeah.
Huh.
That to me, that's mind blowing,
Yeah.
It is mind blowing.
I mean,
I have a hard time even picturing, like, late 20s. It just seems awful, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't imagine 60s.
Well, the thing is, when dating is different depending on your age.
Yep.
Right. So someone that's older than us probably have different goals and like they're looking for different things than we are.
Yep.
True.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, like I do know some people that have had successful relationships. I even know this one girl from high school, and she, like, I think, and this is kind of maybe unfair, but I think a lot when you think about, especially Tinder, because Tinder, now there's always other dating apps. Tinder is basically like a hookup app, honestly. Let's be real, right? And this girl was never like that. Like I wouldn't say pretty good friends with her, but I was good acquaintances with her. Okay. Like I knew her in high school. If I saw her today, I would say hi. And I was never romantically involved with her, but she was a nice girl.
Okay.
And she got married on Tinder. Like she's my age. She's about like 26. I'm 26, right? So she's either within a year plus or minus of that, and she's in a marriage and Tinder. Now I don't know. Obviously, I don't live in their bed. I don't know what their relationship is like, but even to get to the point of getting married, you know what I mean? Like it's
I sleep in their bed. Just ask me. I'll
I'm their dog on the floor. But
fly on the wall.
They got to a successful point, got married. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, it works. It's just
it's different for everybody.
It
right?
just matters who it is.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your opinion on the question I asked earlier too. Like, if you were to make an announcement to women on the dating sphere, like, what are men looking for so they would know? So it's like teaching biology.
Yeah. I would want someone that I could have fun with.
Mm-hmm.
And also someone that I can talk with, and then that just reciprocates energy. That's basic and honesty. That's really
right.
It's not like I think all of us have, like, if we were to go to sleep and picture a woman that's a picturesque woman,
mm-hmm.
I think we'd all have like what they would look like. They would have a certain haircut.
Right.
They would have a certain body type.
Right.
They would be a certain race even, right? But I don't really, like, obviously I have preferences just like every other dude, but I wouldn't really mind any of that. Like, it just has to be,
We're saying personality is key.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Personality
is key.
Personality is very key. It's really just because you could look. I mean, like, even if you're the Giga Chad, right? Even if you're like the 6'6" jacked dude, with all the women, like, eventually, unless like you're just a caveman, I mean, eventually the relationship or the whatever you want to call it, the fling, is gonna
mm-hmm.
fall apart once the pillow talk runs out, right? Like, once, like,
True.
You've had enough sexual interactions with them, and you're just like, oh, well, this person is boring, or this person doesn't match my values, or
mm-hmm.
this person, isn't honest, right? So
just isn't. Just don't click on that level you're looking for.
Yep.
I mean, it's also, like I was saying before, it's pretty subjective.
Yeah.
All is subjective. Different people are shallow in different ways.
Yeah. And some people don't care about
Some don't care.
Well, I appreciate you guys' input on this, because, like, if I think that in the dating world right now, I mean, I haven't been on Tinder or anything like that, but, like, I guess what I was thinking earlier is men don't know what women want sometimes, and women don't know what men want sometimes. So I kind of want to make this like an open, hey, this is what we want. If women know what men truly want, do you think that the dating sphere would be easier for both parties? Right, knowing what each other want.
Real, like, the majority of guys just want clam.
Yeah, they just want
Unga
sex.
bunga, lizard
sex.
brain.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Like caveman brain, they just want sex, and they don't really even factor in, like, they get the sex, they can just be hooked just off that, regardless of any incompatibilities that may come up, and they just end up trapped in a really unhappy relationship as a result.
Yep. I mean, I've been there, so.
I'm sure everyone's been there. I'm sure you've been there. I'm sure everyone's been there.
Yeah.
Unless, like, some high school sweetheart, and even maybe still then, you know?
Yeah.
First one's like, yeah, gotta keep this out.
Yeah. And so what you're saying, too, about if both parties knew what they want, would it be easier?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of why maybe, and again, I don't know the stats, but I would probably wager a good sum of money that the more extensive dating apps like, you know, Christian Mingle or the conservative thing you were talking about before, you know, Farmers Only, like stuff like that. That's where it's already filtering out a lot of people. They start and they kind of birth more successful relationships than Tinder or Bumble, because really, if you've ever been on there, right? You say you haven't been on there much, but you have interests, right? And they're very broad. It's like partying, going out for a drink, coffee, you know, activism, I guess would be one, or dogs, whatever, right? And even within them, like, that's like, what type of activism is it? Like, me personally, I'm like, I talk about this as kind of a tangent, but I'm a white guy. Like, I don't really care about anything at all. I just kind of like live my life and
You just want to chill.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to chill.
Now, there are some people, and just to preface this, there are some people that I think should care.
Right.
Minorities, women, stuff like that. They should definitely care about that type of stuff. But I just don't. What type of activism is it? What type of partying is it, right? Because you have a house party, or you have going out to a bar, or you have
Some orgy shit.
you have an orgy shit, you have staying up to a rave at 4 a.m., you know, like, it's all different. Going out and having a drink, like, okay, does that mean that you want to sit by the bar with your elbow on the bar and talk for 6 hours, or do you want to get shit-faced wasted and then, you know, wake up the next morning and you don't even know where the hell you are, you know? I think it's you know, really broad, and that's why I think, like you're saying, if they both know what they want, if you go on these more specific apps, I think it's better.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was kind of aiming towards like a big billboard announcement rather than like an individual. You get what I'm saying? Like, what's the big
general
picture?
men.
Yeah, what's the big picture that most men are
like the
looking
council of men, like
for? Yeah, we are now the council of men.
Generally,
Hear us well.
Stereotypically, like, a guy wants what, like, an attractive woman that's loyal to him.
yeah.
See?
That's pretty actually true.
Exactly.
Attractive woman loyal to him.
See, the more we simplify it, like that, this activates the lizard brains. Like, okay, this is all we're looking for. We're not looking for like someone that has like 1 million follow Instagram view. We're not looking for, you know, clout. We're not looking for your TikTok account. You know, and like women think that some of the stuff, this is what men care about, but we don't.
Yeah.
You know, but you're on Tinder. Like, I've been on Tinder. Like, hey, check out my Instagram, check out my Snap, and then like,
I'm sure there's guys too that are in the same thing, like, just trying to build, I guess, their like social presence or whatever, social media presence or brand, whatever you call it.
And I think actually there's a setting on at least Bumble. It's like the friend setting or something like that, where people were like the business. I think there's even a business setting too. I don't have my phone next to me, so but yeah, no, there is.
What business would use that to advertise themselves? That's
Bumble, LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's
What?
yeah, like that's funny.
I'm willing to believe it.
You know, I mean, like I said, I don't have my phone next to me. I can literally check, but there's like a setting that you could turn it on. Like, mine is on dating, right?
Okay.
But there's one that's like literally, I just want to make friends, which is actually, I think actually dating apps for that is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Say you're a new dude or a new girl and you're just living in a new town, right?
Okay.
You've never been there. Maybe you moved across the country. You don't know a damn person, right? Like, I know for a fact that's one. Like, okay. Or even when it's not, like, people in their bio says just looking for friends for right now. Like, I just moved here. That's perfectly respectable. Like, that's like how to meet new friends. I mean, because again, if think about if I moved to, I don't know, let me pick a random state, Illinois or some shit. And
Minnesota.
Minnesota, sure, Minnesota. I'm in the country. I have no idea where the fuck I am. I know nobody. That would be a decent way to meet somebody. Or meet people in general. Be like, yeah, I'm looking for friends who enjoys drinking beers, you know? Like, and that would be sweet. But, like, the business thing, I mean, I've even matched with girls, and they're, like, really attractive, and they're like, oh, yeah, like...
Here's my OnlyFans.
Yeah, literally. They're like, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
I've never experienced that, but I heard.
Oh, my God, this one girl... Okay, this story time.
Oh, boy, story time! Hell yeah.
This one girl, I'm hitting it off with her, and at least I thought, right? I don't think I was. Now that when I tell a story, you're going to be like, no, you weren't. But, she was basically like, yeah, like I'm a, what do you call this? She said something, but I'm a cam performer. So she was trying to get me to view her self-service pornography, and I was like, no. And then I just dematched her, whatever. Hope she's doing good if you're out there, by the way. But that's just, that's what it comes down to. I had another girl or something I matched with, and she was like, "Oh, donate money to talk to me." I'm like, yeah,
"Oh no,
I'm gonna donate this unmatched real quick and this Swift block. That's all I'm gonna fucking donate." But I mean, like, it happens. It happens.
I have a buddy that like went to meet up with some chick off Tinder. He got there, they're like making out, and she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if you want to fuck me, that's gonna be like $100."
Oh hell no!
Oh my god, no, wait. So I have a friend that lives in California, and dude, same thing happened to him. Shit. But actually, he matched with the girl, and he has. I'm not gonna not say who it is. He has a really nice paying job, and I guess that's in his bio, right? Because like some people have that in their bio. Like even me, like I have like logistics guy in my thing.
Right.
He's an engineer sometime. So this girl, I guess, or this woman, knew that he was getting paid a lot of money, and she was actually an Instagram, quote unquote model, right? That had like a couple 100,000 followers, and he wasn't. So she was basically like, "Yeah, if you give me $2,000, let's meet at this hotel tonight, and I will have sex with you." Oh, that's like literally what it is. And
she's not looking for a date; she's looking to make some money.
Exactly, and what? My friend, just for sakes of being curious, he FaceTimed her because he didn't think it was real. Oh. And she was real. Oh, shit. It's this girl that's on Instagram. I remember the image of her in my head, but I don't know her name. It was like not like a super famous girl like a Kim Kardashian or anything like that, but like it was,
she's hot enough. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, that's in California too. That's a whole separate topic. My friend, that's California is a whole different vibe than North Carolina. Yeah. Right? Like my friend says when he's actually, I think another successful relationship I know is off Tinder. I actually met this girl. It was very nice. The same friend that almost got lured into a $2,000 night. He actually met a girl off Tinder, and they've been dating for like I think 2 or 3 years, and it's like really nice. And she's a perfectly normal girl, sweet girl. I met her. That she came for around I think Christmas or New Year's or something, and we went to like a Hornets game with me, my friend, and some of my other friends and her, and totally normal. But again, like in California, what he told me when he was on these apps is there's so many girls like that. There was like OnlyFans, Instagram, follow me on this. I'm OnlyFans. He said that one time there was this girl that he thought was gonna jump him, and rob him. Because, she was like, yeah, I'm not going on a date with you unless you meet me at this secluded location, and my friend's going to be here.
Come alone.
Yeah. No cops or anything,
That's a little sus, man.
Yeah, really sus. I would never do that. My first experience on Tinder, actually, in college, I remember, right when I was going into college, I downloaded it. Actually, the same thing happened. I don't know. It could have been like a threesome. I don't think it was going to be, though. But the same thing happened, she was like, yeah, I'm here with my friend, and we both think you're really cute, and I'm like, too good to be true. Could have been a nice story that I could tell on this podcast right now, or I could be in a ditch, And I'm just gonna, if there's any chance of me being in a ditch, no.
I'm not climbing into a ditch to get some ditch.
Yeah. True. That's like my cruise this summer. I was supposed to go to Greece, but I told my family, I was like, yeah, there's an above a 0% chance of me dying to a nuclear bomb in Russia. I don't think Russia would ever nuke Greece. But, I mean, who fucking knows what's going to happen
at this point, right?
Yeah, who knows? But I was like, yeah, let's change that shit up real quick.
Yeah.
That's a random off topic, but yeah.
Yeah. But, bro, the whole Miami thing, you're actually the first person that I encountered in person that said that. Because I'm on YouTube, right? And I get stuck in the algorithm, and then for some reason they red pill me. I can see a lot of men's stuff like Kevin Samuels. I don't watch Fresh and Fit, but you know them.
Yeah.
But yeah, them and these type of people that advocate men dating. And what I noticed is a lot of these people, you have to be aware of where they live. because they're interviewing these girls. They're all in Miami. They're all in Florida.
Oh,
these
you're talking about like the dudes outside bars like interviewing women?
No. These guys will like throw a podcast and they will invite all these girls and ask them these questions.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
And you
yeah,
ask,
yeah.
and
I'm not familiar.
yeah, and these guys.
I am. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the point is, these guys would ask these girls like, "Hey, what do you want in a man?" And they give all these outrageous answers like, "Oh, I want a man that's 6 foot tall." Pretty much what I was explaining earlier. They want unrealistic standard, right? But I talked to Megan about this a while back, and she told me that like, not normal girls don't act like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything that you see on the internet
like
is
that's-
mostly Miami or like in Florida, you know. So just be cautious of that, because a lot of my friends thinking like, oh yeah, girls like that are all around Charlotte. I don't think that's true anymore.
I think
you
that's
know?
just like a boogeyman invented.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that. And
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not 6 foot abs rich guy at all.
Yeah, no.
That's what I'm saying,
I'm
right?
I'm 6'2", but I don't have abs. I think I'm in pretty good shape and I look decent. But I will say, like, the girls I've had sexual contact with, if you put them on Tinder with just their pictures and morph their bio into that, it would be perfectly reasonable. At least the hottest ones, right? I'm not saying I'm not David Hasselhoff. I don't literally just catch every hot woman, right? But like, it's definitely like you're saying, like a boogeyman thing, Toby, right?
Is it unrealistic? Like, not unrealistic. Is it unfair for women to want like the cream of the crop? Because guys are the same way, obviously, right? It's like a double standard.
I believe-
women
yes.
are being.
I don't think it's fair at all.
judged
Yes.
for it, but
Yes. Okay. So this is my response to that. Yes, every person is they're free to choose whoever they want to choose.
Yeah.
But if you filter your options so little, where like the percent of you finding that specific person with all those qualities that you're asking for is damn near zero.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to regulate your standard.
so, like, are
you
you
know?
saying like they should just settle?
No.
For something that they
Well-
don't want.
Well, okay. Regardless, when there's two people in a relationship, there's always one that's upper and the other's one lower. There's never going to be a person that's exactly in the middle. There's always someone settling, right?
I mean,
either the women settle or the
not
men settle.
not
It doesn't matter.
necessarily, not
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
no, I was gonna say.
That's so subjective because I mean appearance in general is very subjective.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Like my taste could be disgusting to you. My 10 could be
Right.
your 5, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think actually, so it's, I will say my one relationship, I think definitely there was like a higher and lower. I'm not going to talk crap, right? Like I really don't want to air myself out.
It wasn't
but-
mean to be in terms of disrespect.
No, oh no, I know,
okay.
I know what you mean, but like,
Okay.
like almost like an alpha and a beta thing, or even like this person's better than this person in life, or this person's, and that again, that's completely subjective.
Yeah,
right?
it's subjective.
Completely
Yeah, I
subjective.
get that.
Completely subjective,
Right.
and also to, what was I gonna say? I think there is, though, like Toby was saying, there is actually a lot of middle ground things, and the closer you are together to like my dream girlfriend is like I can go out with her, we can party, and I don't know, maybe she's into fitness or at least eats healthy, right? She
Yeah.
can't eat bad, and is has a good personality. That's it, right?
Okay.
And as long as her appearance is deemed acceptable by me, and then vice versa, I think it's fine, right? Like I think that would be a very sustainable relationship. I've never had anything like that, but hopefully one day I will, right?
Right.
So, who knows? So,
It's out there.
yeah,
Somewhere.
Yeah. I'm searching. Don't worry. I'm
Right.
doing some
Wait.
finding. I'm doing some finding.
Yeah. It's not easy, man. I mean, especially after. Wait, actually, they lifted a lot of the COVID laws, and you can wear a mask around now. So, do you think it will be easier? We're slowly coming back from the COVID. We can actually start meeting people now instead of being stuck indoors all day.
Yes.
Really?
Without divulging too much, I think when I go out with maybe this guy here more than most people, I think we meet
Oh,
pretty
snap.
girls, right? Like I won't say all the time. I think an example I can talk about is definitely the Boston trip. I think that was this past September or August.
August or September.
It was around then, and there was like no mask stuff there,
Yeah.
basically.
Nice.
I wore like a mask on the plane to get there, but we went to like a bar behind Fenway Park. Boston's a great place, by the way, too. If you've never been there, go there. Really fun.
Cool.
It has a lot of other stuff too, and I'm not just saying that because of what I'm about to say, but I'll focus on what I'm going to say. And we met some really pretty girls, and I definitely like if you've ever seen like a Barstool account, you know what I'm talking about?
No,
kind of
I know.
like
What's
a
that?
Barstool account is it's basically an account for people. Maybe I could even group myself into it, where it's like it posts funny things like of people partying, almost like at the bar some guy's too drunk, or maybe some funny blooper happened at the beach or something like that, right?
Okay.
So what I'm describing as like a barstool makeout, I made out with this girl for like 2 hours, like in the bar. Like
Gotcha.
it was really funny, and she was super attractive. And it just happened. It just happened because of talking. Maybe not even more so because of me, but it just happened. And I think meeting another thing too, what you're saying about the COVID thing is, before I ramble on too much, and this happened. I remember the first weekend in Charlotte, when they were like, all right, you can go out after 11 now. Because that was the thing, that you couldn't go out after 11. Was like the big thing.
Right.
Once that happened, it was literally like, if I'm Catholic, and there's like a story in the Bible, like Sodom and Gomorrah, like the sinful cities, basically, where like they're all just like having sex and like doing drugs and getting really drunk. It was funny. It's funny. It was literally like that. It was like literally all hell broke loose because every single guy and girl and everyone and their sister was out because they've been locked up in COVID, and their, you know what I mean. Their energy is pent up.
Right.
Like even me before COVID, like I had like my party stage, like in college, but before COVID, I was not partying at all.
Right.
And then once it ended, it was just like demon mode. It was just like time to go out, time to get drunk. And that, actually, I didn't have any sexual encounters at all. It's literally just like everybody, now that everything is starting to end,
right?
Everyone's energy is just out there. They want to go out. They want to, do stuff. Even if you're a person that's like introverted and like you like staying home, you're at least maybe gonna like maybe not go to a bar, but you're gonna want to go out and
eventually,
go to a restaurant. Yeah, you want to go to a game, go to parks, something like that. Yeah. So, yeah. So, and I think that's people's nature when they're locked in. They want to go out. I remember
naturally.
Caged down.
I remember
naturally.
An example to that kind of I think backs up my point that isn't even romantic is when COVID first started, like the dawn days of COVID, like that March, right? I had a basketball court near my neighborhood, right? And it's actually a pretty active area where you see people playing there a lot. I play there sometimes. I've just got back into playing, but anyway, there right when everybody was in quarantine, and this maybe had to do with a lot of people couldn't go to work and stuff like that too. I would go home, and I don't know if you've ever seen anything called like Drew League. You know what that is? Like in basketball, I watch a lot of basketball, but Drew League is basically like this place in New York, where it's like you there's like a big fence and not like a barbed wire fence, but you know what I'm talking about?
The little X's.
Yes, the X's, like the metal fence.
Yeah.
And outside courts, and there's like hundreds of people that come out, and there's like pro players playing there, right, and stuff like that. And I was watching that. I shit you not, my neighborhood was like that. Not saying that LeBron was there or anything, right?
Right.
But there was like 70 people like outside on the court, like all watching, all playing 5v5 on both sides. It was like literally like a party. The park right next to it, there was people out there on towels and stuff, like
picnics and stuff.
Yeah, having picnics, and it literally got to a point where they were like, okay, you guys can't do this in the basketball court.
Right.
People still did it. They didn't care.
Yeah.
And then you know what happened? For a year, more than a year, I think, they just took the hoops off of the basketball courts. They're like, yeah, you can't play because this is like a super spreader event.
Dang.
And that goes into a COVID event thing. That's like a total tangent. And same thing with the picnic, right? I think the people that were doing the picnic, right, are a little bit more people that, like, a lot of it was women too. Or like guys a little more chill, like, oh, they said that we're not supposed to do that, we won't. Whereas the guys in the court, like me, I didn't go out there and play. But if I was playing at the time, I wouldn't have listened. I would have been out there until they put the fucking planks on the on the hoops, right? I would have been out there balling, right?
Right.
It's just people's nature; they just want to go out. So I think that's what like a lot of people too. I know this is going on a really huge tangent, but in COVID, some people, even if they like I'll use myself as an example. At the beginning of COVID, I was very like, okay, I want to be super, not secluded, but I want to limit my interactions. I want to stay inside. And I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm tired of this. Like, I just want to live. And maybe that isn't stopping the spread or whatever, but, it's just, that's how people
human
are.
Nature, man. No,
it's human nature. So,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, just a little fun fact. I learned that when babies are born, they like to be constricted. They like to have, like, less freedom. But as human beings grow older, they want more freedom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just, like I said, it's just second nature for us just want to be out.
Yeah.
So when you lock something in for so long, then, like, I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Yep.
Cool.
Especially, like, going from just being able to do, I mean, not anything right there, but basically like, whatever you want to do within reason, you're able to. And then having the majority of things taken away, like even the hoops at a basketball court outside, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They're
Going
probably
in people's driveways with like the water filled, like like the
probably,
personal little hoops.
Yeah.
That you fill in like with sand or whatever, water in the base of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they turned the whole entire neighborhood into a party. You know, I mean, I get from the perspective of like the neighborhood why they don't want that, but like, dang, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and hell, I mean, you'll see my same apartment that was limiting all these things before. Now they're having parties like St. Patrick's Day, like they're out doing this big like rave type thing almost. And it wasn't like a rave, but it was like everybody was out like drinking beer. There's like a thing called like a beer garden there. It's not like a garden of beer, but it's like excuse me if you don't know what it is. It's kind of like you go outside and just drink. It's like a place like to drink and chill, and people are doing that, right? It's like because they know it like makes money and you know, maybe draws attention to the apartment complex, stuff like that. So, yeah.
So I don't want to sound like I'm trying to diverge the topic, but
no, I did. So you can go ahead and diverge right back. I took the metaphorical car and just drove it off the fucking cliff.
No. I'm gonna piggyback off what you're saying, but all I'm saying is, as soon as the whole Ukraine-Russia thing happened, right?
Yeah.
The minute that happened, people stopped talking about COVID. People stopped giving a fuck about COVID.
Oh,
Nobody cared about COVID anymore. And then, like you said, you see people going out parties.
Yep.
You know, like politicians aren't saying anything about COVID anymore because the hot topic now is like the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, right?
Yep.
So is that a crazy conspiracy, or am I like on the right track?
No,
do you notice that?
I wouldn't know if it's a conspiracy or not. I'd just say it depends on what circle you're in, because I mean, there's people that never cared about it to begin with.
So I think also too, so people are like, for lack of better terms, like media pilled, right? Like even myself, right? Like, in this, I'm gonna try to stay on top of what you're saying. There's a lot of different things I could talk about with that, right? Like personal appearance, stuff like that too, right? But that's different. What I'm talking about is if you're a politician, right?
Right.
If you're even and what a politician says, what a world leader says, will trickle down.
Yeah.
Right? Even if me, like, I don't watch the news. I don't give a shit. Like, but I'm on Twitter. There's news on Twitter. Like, I'm gonna see Twitter all the time. Like, and that's how I, consume my news. Not saying that I believe everything on Twitter. I don't.
No, I get it.
It's out there.
That's your platform.
Right?
I get it. Yeah.
And the politicians, right? It's like a buzzword, or like a buzz event, flash event type thing. And as soon as people are scared of something, because that's what COVID was. Is I'm not saying that not going into whatever like you think COVID is.
I get
but people were scared of COVID, right?
Right.
People were scared of COVID, rightfully so. Some of them, there's people with pre-existing conditions, stuff like that. Like even I know somebody that didn't have a pre-existing condition and it hit them really hard, and they're in super good shape.
Dang.
And people wanted a solution. Stop COVID. And now the solution is we don't want to die in a nuclear apocalypse, right? And that's what everyone's focusing on right now in Russia, right?
And now it's taking high priority.
Yeah.
Are people still talking about Russia?
What do you mean? Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I
thought people were talking about it for like a week or something.
No, man.
I mean, that's usually like the attention span of like events like Bill Cosby and shit like that. Like people talk about things for like a couple weeks and it's just kind of irrelevant.
COVID's been around for like 2 years. That's all I ever hear about for like the past 2 years. I'm just saying.
I think COVID is
in different
probably
ways, just because like that is an ongoing issue that they're constantly moving goalposts and whatnot to keep you engaged.
Yeah.
Well, Russia, I mean, does that really have any impact on us? They're talking about like gas or whatever.
So I think it has to do with the gas, and I think it has, and this is like a whole different thing about like I don't know a damn thing about war theory or anything, but I mean, even like the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? The whole thing with that was not that we would lose to Russia in an all-out war. It was that they had nukes on the ship, and if one of us pressed the button of nuking, right, the other one would do it and be a domino effect until the whole world is a fucking pancake, right? And I think that's why everyone's
turn the earth flat.
Yeah, literally Kyrie Irving, earth is flat, like it would literally happen. I love Kyrie Irving, go Nets, by the way. Nets World Championships 2022. Anyway, St. Peter's, by the way, too, if you watch basketball, St. Peter's, New Jersey, Jersey City, go Peacocks, go Peacocks. Anyway, I had to throw that in there. I think it's the same thing now. You have Putin and you have Zelensky, right? The Ukrainian dude. And they both kind of said, like, I think Putin was trying to kind of flex his muscles and be like, yo, like, don't act up or we'll drop a nuke. And, like, Zelensky was like, yo, we have the same shit, too.
Yeah.
And that could very, very quickly turn into, like, some bad
World
things.
War, bro.
Nuclear holocaust.
No,
They
freaking
were-
World War coming.
Yeah, they and this is going into whole separate things. Like they attacked. Remember, they attacked that nuclear plant. It was on fire. It wasn't
Yeah,
Chernobyl.
yeah.
It wasn't Chernobyl. It was like a different one.
No,
They went through Chernobyl, and there was some video I saw on Twitter. Again, I'm consuming my news source through there. They some nuclear plant was on fire, and they were very scared of a nuclear meltdown. I guess right is the word, right? Of like something bad happening.
Blowout.
And there's been a lot of things happening that, like, in our lifetime. Not even saying, like, I wasn't alive for, like, World War II, right? But, like, there was the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There was this thing in South Carolina. I don't know the name of the incident. I don't know if you guys know about that. But in South Carolina...
The bomb. Talking about the bomb shelter?
No, I don't know. I don't know about that. But,
Oh, never. Okay, never mind.
So, no, I wanted to hear about this after this. But apparently, in South Carolina, I think it was in the 80s. I might be wrong. I'd have to look this up. But this did happen, because I was talking about this the other day with my friend. There was some pilot, and this is really scary when you think about it. There were some pilots doing testing of just like flight stuff, and they had a nuke on their on like the fighter jet that they're on, or I guess it would be like a stealth bomber type of thing, right? It was like a really big.
It's a big ass plane
that could hold a nuke.
Big,
anyway,
dangerous plane.
It's a
big dangerous plane, right?
Right.
And they were flying, and the nuke wasn't active, right? The nuke wasn't like in the point where it touches the ground and blows up,
Right.
But it was on there, and part of the exercise was them opening the flap, right? And this pilot opened the flap, and the nuke dropped out of the airplane and like hit some house or something. I don't think anybody died, but like it destroyed like a house. And it was in South Carolina. Thank God it didn't go off, because it would have flattened.
It would have been a tragedy.
It would have been a tragedy. Yeah, it would have killed probably thousands of people, right?
Jesus Christ.
So, it's scary to think about.
I'm guessing they recovered the bomb.
Yeah,
already?
they recovered the bomb, and it was totally fine. And there was no like it's not like a thing like Chernobyl where there was like fallout or anything, because it didn't go out. The bomb didn't go off, but it was like a near miss type of thing almost. So, yeah.
How much would the government have to pay you to disarm the bomb? Because bro, I would have shat myself, bro.
I mean,
dude,
what?
Holy
If
crap!
it didn't blow up falling out of the sky, like would it really just blow up?
No, I
on you?
don't think so.
I don't know how nuclear bombs work at
The
all.
element have to hit like super critical, like
Critical mass, right? Or whatever?
criticality or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it could be like a little shock, just like a little impact, but I mean, I don't really know the details. It's something like that.
It's kind of like it's like relative heat, right? Like how like it takes something to melt. Is that kind of what it is? Like like everything has a relative heat. Like an egg that you cook has a lower relative heat than the gold chain I'm wearing. That's why my gold chain doesn't flare up in the sauna and burn me alive, right? It's because it takes, I guess, more to warm up, right? I don't know. I'm just talking my ass right now.
Turn it into like lava.
Yeah,
like melting steel.
I mean, it does hurt sometimes when I'm in the sauna. It kind of hurts my neck. I'm like, ah, shit. But I mean, like, I can't take off my gold chain. I'm Italian. It's like a luchador losing his mask.
I mean, okay, I'm trying to visualize how I can explain this. Like, imagine like a cylindrical tube, right? You know how you can push like cotton in? You can push like a bunch of cotton in.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So like instead of cotton, these are element, but like you can push a lot in tiny little like space. Like imagine you can push as much as you can, and then like if it snaps, what's gonna happen? The con just
blows up. Okay.
Goes all over the place. That's
Makes
kind
no
of
sense.
that's the best way I can like visualize it.
Okay. No, I mean, that's just a really good visualization. That reminds me of my laundry hamper that I need to do. There's too much laundry and it fucking fell over. A nuclear laundry bomb went off in my room.
Oh my god.
And another interesting thing, I know this is, again, going off on a super far tangent and stuff. One thing that's really interesting, and I'm kind of into, like, aliens and stuff.
Oh, yes!
Okay, so
yes!
I talked to you, so Tony, you had a story about the Skinwalker Ranch. I've heard people use that, and I want to hear the story after what I'm saying.
Okay.
But do you know about, like, the Tic Tac aliens? The ships?
Yo, I love hearing new shit. This is news to me.
Oh,
like,
really?
I've never heard of what Tic Tac.
Yeah,
All right, so this is about to go back on a huge thing. And by the way, too, I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat or anything. This is actually stuff that was real. It was on CNN. So after this, I'll show you this too. There was a news thing on CNN. I think it was in the late 2010s, or might have even been in like 2020.
Okay.
Anyway, it was footage of a fighter jet, and like not of a fighter jet. Like think of like the cameras they have in there, right? They have like
black and white, kind of
yes,
gray.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
The shitty type.
Yeah, the shitty type.
Yeah.
And this pilot reported the sighting. And if you look this up, it's like Tic Tac off the coast of California, or whatever.
Okay.
Tic Tac aliens, is what they call it, the ship at least. Anyway, it was like an alien ship, right? Or it was like it looked like a Tic Tac. And if you looked at this thing, it like because there was a report on CNN. It was an actual report. You can literally look it up. It's on the internet.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, this pilot said he saw this thing. And basically, yeah, you see it?
Can I see it?
Yeah.
I'm still pulling it up.
Because there's a lot of different things about this.
Yeah,
Because it goes, that's the picture right there, though. This right, what I'm talking about, that thing, that's the thing.
Can't even see
So
it.
this pilot, and I'm gonna try to go in chronological order here. He said he saw this thing rise out of the sea, and it looked like a tic tac, like a white tic tac, right?
Okay.
And it obeyed. So you know how we have a jet, right? Or you have a car.
Okay.
And it goes forward, it goes backwards, right?
Right.
A jet can't go backwards, but like, you know.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
And he said it obeyed no laws of propulsion. So like it would go like diagonal,
right? Or
it would go like, you know, some weird fucking way that like no jet that we have can move. And he said it was moving in weird things, and then it started slowly.
Oh, I've seen this shit.
Yeah, you've seen this?
Yeah.
And it started slowly speeding up to where he didn't like shoot it or anything, but he was riding by it. He said after it rose from the ocean and was like doing weird movements, it started slowly going to where, like, or not slowly, it's going, what, hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, right? Where he followed it, and then it started like pulling away from him, and then it went so fast that he couldn't even see it and just disappeared.
Yeah, like blink of an eye, gone.
Yeah, and that was like a report in CNN, and people were like, obviously, like, oh, like, you know, that's not real or whatever. Right. But
that's like official government
apparently
footage.
In the past, I think in the year or two, this happened again. Another pilot off the coast of, I think, California reported the same thing, that something rose out of the ocean, and it was just doing these weird maneuvers that does not make any. There's no physical science that we have. There's no technology, at least unless there's like some crazy, you know, Chinese thing that they have, right, that we don't know about. It's nothing that we can create.
Right.
It's just like it does not obey any laws of physics. It just moves around like a fucking laser pointer type shit, if you think about it that way.
Yeah.
And another pilot saw it and was like, yeah, this guy's right. Like, this is happening.
Right.
And this is actually Donald Trump, at the end of his presidency, he declassified this.
Oh,
and
I remember that, dude.
Yeah, so that was this thing. Like, it's like a real
Oh.
thing. Like, and all these Tic Tac aliens, they call it, I think they don't call them UFOs. It's like unidentified.
Oh yeah, they changed the definition. Right?
I think it's UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm talking about the aliens now, right, is because all these sightings, besides the ones off the coast of California, all the other sightings that have been reported are over sites of where a nuclear flashpoint event has happened. Ooh. And when the thing was on fire in Russia, apparently somebody said that there was a Tic Tac alien just in the sky looking.
What
right?
The fuck?
So, and this happened. Apparently, there was like some North Korean nuclear test too.
Oh
there was a Tic Tac alien over that, and apparently this has been happening for a long time. There was some special I've even watched on the History Channel one time of some military base guard, and I think they were transporting atom bombs. And he saw an alien. He just saw an alien ship like in the sky, and it's just crazy to think about. And also, if you want to know more about this, I forgot the pilot's name. I would have to look it up. But this pilot actually was on another podcast, Joe Rogan, and he detailed this whole thing. It's pretty crazy. And then there's like another guy.
Wait. You wouldn't happen to be talking about Bob Lazar?
I was going to mention him next.
Bob Lazar, yeah.
He was all that. So this is a different episode. The pilot and him were a different episode. Bob Lazar.
Oh, okay.
So the thing about Bob Lazar that's crazy. There's a lot of things that he said is kind of wacky.
Right.
Like the FBI. You know about a lot.
I know enough. I know enough to talk about.
So like, the FBI apparently like ruined his marriage or something.
Deleted his history.
Yeah,
because his wife cheated or something. They don't
want
him
or
to
like
get off.
They basically like did some psyop to make his like. This is what he says. I don't know if I believe this, but apparently they did some psyop so his wife cheated on him and like made him look crazy and all this stuff. But he worked at the area, not Area 51, it was like Area 52 or whatever,
right,
where they had all these aliens things. And before this report came out, he went on Joe Rogan and talked about the same thing.
Really?
That there was an alien ship that apparently we found, and that they somehow figured out how to pilot it, which sounds preposterous, right? But it did the same thing, and it obeyed no laws of physics. It just moved diagonal, like fucking horizontal, vertical, like really fast, like
From what I know, there's two things that could happen. Either that thing is operating on the fourth dimension.
Yep. Okay.
Right. That's one, and two is the element that I think it was Bob Lazar that found it. He found an element that can like pretty much manipulate gravity.
Yep.
So whenever, let's say, think of a rocket, right? You're shooting something to push a physical object up. So you're pushing energy down for you to go up, right? So this element, apparently it's so dense it can make its own gravity. So just imagine like a piece of cloth, a really thin piece of cloth.
Yeah.
And you put marbles on it, right? And all of a sudden you put a bowling ball in the center. Well, so what's gonna happen to the cloth? It goes down, right? So everything is gonna like fall towards that direction of the bowling ball because of its mass. Mm-hmm. So from what I was told, the reason how the aliens were able to fly up is because of that. So the mass is pulling gravity up that way. That's how it's able to like move all these directions. So you can control the element and just like put it left, right, or whatever, and turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah.
So that explanation explaining how something can move left, right, up, down, diagonally so easily.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things the bobbles are found.
Yeah. So you're right about that. My roommate actually told me about that because he knows I'm interested in aliens.
I love aliens.
Yeah, I love aliens too.
And
there's a reason why I love them too. But he told me about the nuclear thing, and he actually talked about the fourth dimension thing.
Yeah.
Now he actually is really good at math. So the thing that he told me about the dimensions, I don't know if you know this. I'm a calculator guy. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And our job doesn't. Yours might require more math than
no,
mine.
not really.
Not
No,
really.
not
But
at
like
all.
mine doesn't. Mine just addition, subtraction, some division, multiplication. Right. That's not that bad. But what he told me, there's this thing called a string equation. You ever heard of that? Okay, so a string equation is this thing where they're trying to determine how many dimensions there are, apparently, like in like physical space or outside of physical space, right? Or our physical space, right, is what, 3-dimensional, right? Right. Now, there's a string equation. They're trying to think about all the dimensions, and apparently, it only worked when they had the number 11. Apparently, there's 11 dimensions or something.
Whoa.
And that's what a lot of people think aliens are too. It's not that maybe they're coming from outer space,
right?
But maybe they're on Earth and they just go through dimensions, and they're just like, oh, they're just there now. But I think the reason why I'm so interested in aliens is because all what we're talking about Russia, COVID, all this stuff, right? If you think about it, we're having almost, at least to a super evolved being, we're having almost like petty squabbles. And
that's a good point.
And if we had an alien encounter or something, everyone on the Earth would be like, now there'd be some fringe people that would freak out, maybe they'd try to join the aliens, but everyone on Earth, everyone on Earth would be like, yo, like, we should stop being assholes to each other, kind of,
right?
And just, no matter what it is, and like, unite or whatever, try to go explore space or something. Mm-hmm. And I think that is, and I'm not fucking Confucius or anything, but I think that's like our next step of evolution, is that we all stop being idiots and fighting each other over country in Ukraine or whatever it may be, and go explore space. I think that's like our next thing.
That's a long time from here, man.
I don't think it's that easy. It's just like relationships. People have different ideologies on how things should be.
Yeah.
Just because there's like objectively like a greater good doesn't mean everyone's going to just see eye to eye for that greater good. There's going to be people that want it. There's going to be people different ideologies on how it's handled that try to like take charge on how it's handled. And that'd be just a whole fight of its own, right?
History is made by whoever wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So no, what you're saying is right. Like, I'm not trying to say, maybe this guy at work I don't like or something. I'm just throwing out a random example that doesn't exist, that I don't like or something. I don't see eye to eye with him. I'm not saying that aliens would come down and I'd be his best friend. But I'm just saying maybe, like, there would stop being, like, wars and stuff or something. Maybe not entirely, but it would definitely maybe ramp down if you like. And, like, people would, at least governments and stuff, that would be, like you're saying, the thing that leaders talk about, like COVID or Russia, that would be the next thing. That would be, we have to explore space, or we have to explore the other dimension, or we have to find this element, right? Like, that's another thing, too. Science, like, when they're talking about this thing does not obey any science, like the Tic Tac alien.
Right.
Science is not, again, I'm going to credit my roommate for saying this, science is not a monolith.
It's not written in stone.
It's not written in stone. It's not this giant pillar of this is what it goes by. Because if you think about science, like 200 years ago, they were like bleeding people out to take out diseases out of them, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. And now we have modern medicine, right?
All sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, and so our science, maybe in the next couple hundred years, we'll find this thing that could send us to Mars in 2 days or something. Who knows? So,
I mean, just to comment on that, you had to look at it like not from I don't like my neighbor, I don't like my boss. It's kind of like how is human beings, like as an overall, evolving like as time goes by. Mm-hmm. We've gotten to the point where we can interconnect each other's thought through the internet now.
Yeah.
So like the next all the petty shit, I guess, from a global perspective with like the whole Ukraine, all that stuff, all that's gonna be in history. but how is human beings evolving with the technology, and how we're going to get to that point that you were talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and,
it is, man.
And I wanted to say this way earlier, but I guess it's odd. The conversation didn't go through, but do you think that aliens are like looking at us, and then like as soon as we start doing something stupid, they kind of intervene? From what you told, anytime there's any nuclear stuff, like we found like alien flying around the area. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
So, and
what if the radiation, like you're talking about dimensions, what if the radiation is what causes them to be visible within our current dimension, like hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about like the intervening, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So I think this is another thing too. So imagine if we went to the moon today, right? Obviously we've been to the moon, but let's just say that we first discovered how to get to the moon today, and it was just a bunch of monkeys. Right.
On the moon?
Let's just say the moon was just example purposes.
Right,
it was just a colony of monkeys.
Okay.
Space monkeys, right? But they were just like a monkey that we'd see in a forest, right? They were just
Same exactly.
being monkeys.
Like
monkeys.
orangutans hanging out, being orangutan.
Yeah, it wasn't like Planet of the Apes or
Nothing
anything.
crazy.
It was just
no
them being
Matt
apes.
Damon, no Matt.
I think aliens look at us in that same perspective. Now, that's not to say, and this is all, again, getting into evolution, all this shit like that, right? That I'm not even talking about. I'm not saying that we even came from monkeys or anything, but if we found a planet of monkeys, do you think our first instinct would be shoot a laser at them and destroy them? No. We would just observe them and see what they do. And maybe, I mean, we're kind of fucked up. Maybe we would test on a monkey or something to see if it was...
We test on monkeys now.
Yeah.
So like the probing type vibe?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're so, like, they...
It's like, just like we take a shark out of the water and tag it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of vibe.
Yeah, so like, do you think that... I don't think an alien, like... Because aliens, I think, I'll be honest, you have your own opinion of this. Aliens have been here. Aliens, I'm not sure if they've been having human reactions, but they know that we exist and that we're sentient, right? I don't think they're just like, yeah, these guys are idiots. We're just going to wipe out the whole thing and start clean, right? But like you're saying, the intervention thing, that's maybe why they're looking at, like the nuclear thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like this could be very bad. We want to stop them from doing this. And we don't know if that's going to happen, right? Obviously, there was Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Two very tragic things that happened. They didn't stop that there. But I think, and I don't know enough science about this, I think maybe the science is different, right? Like, I don't think an atom bomb and a nuke is the same thing, right? Or is it?
I
don't know.
No idea.
Tomato, potato, same thing.
Yeah, right.
What?
But what I do think though, and what you're saying about the radiation making it's visible, I thought now that could be a perfectly reasonable explanation. Or two, if you think about, again, we're in a spaceship taking readings of the planet. What if the energy signature from the nuclear testing, like, because whenever there's a nuke launching, right, there's a
level, a high level
there's
energy.
a way high level energy, right?
Right.
Like, what if they're just like, oh, like,
It's a blip on the radar.
that's like the thing we have to look at this. Like, this is something that's major happening. Maybe they won't even stop it, but they're just like, oh, let's see what the monkeys will do.
Right. So. Same scenario. I'll pick back off your idea. So like, okay, if we left Earth, right, and we went to the moon and we see a bunch of monkeys, right, they're all acting normal. We observe them, right? Yeah. Well, like, cool. And all of a sudden, you started noticing these monkeys started killing each other with knives. I don't know where the hell the knives are from, but they started killing each other. It's like, okay, look, it's not my place, but I had to intervene and stop these monkeys from killing each other.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to explain to them why we're doing it. It's just like we know that, like, hey, y'all shouldn't be doing this. You guys are like cutting each other.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the best. Well, metaphor of a metaphor. I can.
No.
Does that make sense, right?
No, I 100% agree with you. And also, too, when I'm talking about like how aliens will unite us against like a squabble, that could be another thing too. Maybe an alien, if it was sitting right here in this room, or maybe he's sitting here in the room right now in another dimension, I just gave him a high five. I don't know, but maybe he doesn't want to interact with me, or they don't want to come down and just introduce himself to all the world leaders because they're like, well, they are a lower level of intelligence because they're metaphorically stabbing each other with knives in Russia and Ukraine, or in, I'm just going to cite another example, like Jerusalem. They've been fighting over the same land. I'm not talking about now, but like in like the Crusades, like they've, even though he could talk to me, maybe he doesn't want to, because like, why would I talk to a monkey? Or why would even if we found another example, if we found a thing of cavemen, and let's just say they even spoke English, they would be like, no, like, it would just not like be our same level of advancement to where I would have a meaningful interaction.
It's assuming these aliens would be thinking exactly the same way we do. Because I mean, would you not want to talk to a monkey?
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Would you not want to be Dr. Doolittle?
That'd be pretty awesome. But like,
I would personally, I'd love to talk to them.
But that's also,
if I could.
That'd be fucking sweet. But I mean, like, again, like you're saying that they're thinking the same way as us. They're probably not. They're like, oh, this is And again, I think if they're aliens and they're just able to move, and this is going on another thing, if they're able to move through light years in space or show up in whatever dimension they fucking want, they've probably seen a human a million times, and they're like, oh, human. Like,
or just to say they aren't already communicating. Like, maybe these people that they think are just, like, skitsy actually did interact with aliens.
Yeah, who knows?
No one's going to take that seriously.
Yeah, like the people that got probed. Yeah.
That explains why my butt's been hurting. That's a story for another time. No, but like here's
an anniversary.
Here's we both had a good time. What? I mean, but back to the topic at hand. Like one of the fear that one of the scientists was talking about is like, what if these aliens like they don't give a fuck about our lives?
Yeah.
You know, like imagine you're just walking on park and you see an anthill. You know, like let's say pretend you're like 8 years old and you don't know what an anthill is. Like, you know, so you start stomping on it. Like you don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like, you know, instinctively you already know like these are lesser life forms, so like I'm just gonna fuck with them like without any consequences, because like who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
You know, so whenever you see like movies or like TV shows where aliens just come just to blow up Earth, you know, that's how, as an alien, if you are aggressive and like don't really care about us, then like that's what I would do, and like that's, as human beings, that's what we should be scared of if it ever comes down to that.
Like, that's their idea of fun, is just torturing lower
life
forms.
I mean, yeah.
So that is actually related to what I was going to talk about with the Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty much what they were doing.
So yeah, tell me, I don't know anything about this. Tell me about this.
I'm not familiar.
Man, okay, I don't really know the details. Like I don't remember which state it is, but I'm just gonna say it's Utah, right?
Okay.
So within the state, there is a flat land. You know, you can see like 70 miles down. There's no hill. It's just a straight road. There's no population. There's hardly any cars on the road, right? But there is this one little farm. And
it was in Utah.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky guess. But it this flat piece of land, right? Some farmers came in and like they made complaints saying there's a lot of weird, strange alien phenomena that happens like in this location, right? For example, there's a couple that I can remember on the top of my head. Like, you know, bulls, like, you know, big ass horn, muscles, like really aggressive. Like you piss them off, like they'll you can't control them. It's the point.
Yeah.
But there was an incident where the farmer made a place for the bulls to go in, and they're wild animal. They're not tamed. They're not chill. They're not gonna like walk in single order. They tend to be a little bit aggressive.
Yeah.
But the point is, he was like messing with the bull, doing his farmer stuff. He walked away from the bull for like 10-15 minutes, right? So he came back to the bull's barn, whatever, like this little field, and then within the field there's a little place where the bulls will go. He couldn't find the bull anywhere. Right, so he went into the little barn, and these bulls were standing side by side in order, like unnaturally.
Wow,
They looked like they were like hypnotized. They were just like, you know, at days. You know, like imagine putting like 4 dogs in a row, making them sit and like stand still. Like that, and then like imagine how difficult it is for like an ox. So after a while, something happened, and then like once the bull snapped out of their like daze, like they started freaking the fuck out. Like, what the hell is going on? So he started like thrashing against like the barn and all that stuff. So weird phenomena like that. And another big one that kind of got that whole Skinwalker Ranch on the news is there are cases where they found like a dead cow, right, with one of his eye sockets just gone, right, and there's no blood in the cow like at all.
Like just sapped completely.
Yeah, he was just sapped. And like there are surgical precision where the ear would be cut off, for example. You like there's no way you can replicate that naturally. There's, like an animal would eat another animal, and then like there would be like marks. There's not surgical precision, right? So this thing has surgical precision, like cut off its ear, its eye socket's gone, and then like it's drained from its blood, and there's no blood anywhere within the grass. Like crazy
That's
shit.
Crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Crazy shit like that happens.
Yeah, I mean, dude, who knows, man? I mean, there's so many different things about aliens too. About like, you know, maybe they built the pyramids or something or stuff like that. The what is it? The tablet of God. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's this thing. It's called. It's like this thing in Sumeria. You know, like the first.
Mayan calendar?
No, not that. There's that, but there's this other thing in this. I don't know the name of it. I'd have to look it up again. But it's the. It's some tablet that in ancient Sumeria, right? Sumerians, if you don't know about them, it's like basically the first recorded like advanced civilization to where they made, you know, they were just not like cavemen. They were just like in the Middle East, I think, type of. There's like the something river in the Middle East. I sound really uneducated right now, but if you know what I'm talking about, it is there. And there's this tablet that they have, and it's basically like this tablet is thousands of years old, and the tablet is real. I know that for a fact, right? And basically, on this tablet, it shows all these smaller humans, right? Just people like dressed in, I guess for the time, normal attire. Like kind of like almost like going up to this bigger human in this giant chair, and he's holding out in his hand exactly what our solar system looks like.
Whoa.
Yes, and this is a real thing. I think it's like the tablet of Sumer or something. If you look it up, it's there. It's a real thing. It's a real archaeological find. But to this day, it's totally unexplained why this is there, because this was made way before Galileo and all that shit, right? About when he was like, oh, the Earth revolves around the sun, not the other way around, and he got executed or whatever, right? This was made way, way before then. They just found this thing. They're like, oh, there's these dudes worshiping this other guy that has a solar system literally in his fucking hand.
Right.
Like, so maybe aliens came down and gave us knowledge or something like that, and don't like how we are now or something. Stuff like that. Like, you talk about the Mayans, too. They could have been worshiping aliens, or they could have been sacrificing people to the aliens to make it rain or whatever, right? Like, nobody knows. Nobody knows. And there's a lot of... there's a lot of like similarities between like civilizations across the ocean, right?
Right.
Like
The concept of Jesus, for example.
yeah, concept of Jesus, Jesus and Muhammad, yep.
Virgin Mary,
all that.
Yep.
And then not even that, but structural similarities too, like the pyramids. There's pyramids in South America. There's pyramids in Egypt, right? And if you notice too, if you know about the pyramids of Giza, I think they reflect actually a star constellation. They're built in such a way where I think it has something to do with like the rotation of the sun, or I know it's not specific, or like some like star constellation. They're built because of that. It's not just like 3 giant dope ass pyramids that they built, right?
Right.
You know, and that's not even going into how they build them, right?
Right.
I think that there had to be some type of either technology that Egyptians had that is lost for time, that they used to build it, or aliens built it. I know it's like 2 way different things, but there's actually things about ancient Egypt too. It's this tablet right here. This. That's a real tablet.
Oh, that's the okay. I see it.
Yeah, and he's holding that the solar system, and there's actually a thing in Egypt that you know how they had they mummified people,
Right.
So if you know a thing or two about mummies, when we found a lot of them, like they still had skin on them, right?
Okay.
Yeah, like they weren't just skeletons, right?
Right.
And if you think about that, that's insane. That's like,
What do you mean?
like
They preserve
having exactly the preservation of their skin.
Right.
Is that crazy?
No, so think about this. And this is what I was going to lead up to say, people that do skincare,
Yeah.
you know how people are really into beauty and stuff, rightfully so, whatever. Mm-hmm. They've been searching for whatever fucking thing that they use to mummify them. This is not even like an alien thing. This could be just something that we lost in time.
Yeah.
Whatever like resource that is, and they can't find it. They just have no idea what it is. Like because like, and that's like been a big thing. If anybody ever figures that out and makes it into like a proactive like lotion, you're gonna be the richest man in the entire youth. Yeah, like literally, like they have no idea what it is. I like historical stuff about that too. Obviously, I like aliens, but that's another thing too. There's a lot of interesting.
Wait, scientists can't reverse engineer like that stuff? Like they can't just take a sample?
It's so old and probably like, you know, like how are they gonna reverse engineer?
I mean,
something that old? I'm sure it's like decayed a lot, right? Because it's also not. It's the skin that still exists, not the material, right?
Well, yes, but what you're saying though is they have to have the material on the skin, like you're saying. That they can't reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why they can't is because they don't know what the fuck it is, right? Like if you get something, you know what I mean? Like it's not like. So let's just say they find me in 1,000 years, and they find this gold chain on. They're like, oh, he's Italian, and they fucking they know that it's gold, right? Because it's an element that exists on our periodic table, right? Oh. This thing doesn't exist on our periodic table or whatever this is. Like, obviously, lotion isn't an element, but in lotion there is elements, right?
You can break it down,
different elements.
Right.
This does not exist in our periodic table. So when they did it, they were like, we don't know what the fuck this is. Like they're just like, you know, whatever, right? Like they tested it and it just doesn't exist in our world.
What if like just the theory that like what's that theory? Basically, you can't get rid of a molecule. Whatever, like water,
like
it's always going to exist. You can't destroy.
You can't destroy
hydrogen.
energy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
what if that's wrong and this element just went extinct like an animal would?
I mean, it could. I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess maybe there's. I don't know. Damn thing about this is. I don't know anything about this type of science, but it can gold. Like gold is like a finite resource, right? Like there's like I think we could find more gold, right? But I don't think like
it's not unlimited.
Isn't everything?
It's not unlimited,
Isn't
right?
everything like finite? Infinite?
Finite? Yeah,
finite,
I think so.
Finite.
Except for I guess water is pretty much infinite, right? Because
from space, right? But even then, like
No.
there is an end to space, right? Because like comets with water.
well,
Did you guys hear that? Like, I don't remember who it was, but someone was trying to say that like water is not it's not free, and like people would need to. I don't know how to word this. Water is not a human right. You have to pay companies for water because of the limited number of water we have.
yeah. I mean, I'm
Isn't
not
that crazy?
I'm not saying I agree with that, but I can see how they say that because it is a resource.
Right.
It's just like anything. It's like oil.
I mean,
You
it
know?
costs
Right, so-
them
so
money
my
to
point
take
is-
water and have it be drinkable and usable, right?
Yeah.
But my point is, it's not infinite.
Yeah.
You know, especially on Earth, we only have so much water, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many things about Egypt too, and this is like going off topic of aliens as well. But there's another thing too that another podcast I listened to. I forget who the gentleman's name was, but he's an Egyptologist.
Okay.
And he has a theory, and he basically got outlawed from the scientific community because of this. It's not an alien theory. So you know the Sphinx.
Yeah.
There's like some like ancient ruin near the Sphinx.
Okay.
That like like if like it's something that like almost like resembles like when they're making a house, just like a bunch of like bricks like laying everywhere type shit. And he studied this, and then he studied also the base of the Sphinx. Now, when you think about to put this in an easy word, like the Grand Canyon, right?
Okay.
The Grand Canyon, we could see that there's like water. There was water there that was eventually, or not eventually, but some back in time, the whole Grand Canyon was full.
Okay.
Like, and it just got wore down over time.
Right.
Now it's the same thing with the Sphinx and these ruins. That on the feet of the Sphinx and in these ruins, that I guess the watermark almost, or even though that's not what it's called, but like the erosion or
Okay.
whatever, right? The erosion suggests that Egypt, on this ruin at least, and the Sphinx, Egypt is way, way, way older than we think. That it's like thousands of years older than like modern. I don't know what the timeline for Egypt is, right? But whatever timeline it that is like we're taught in history class in the third grade, it's way older than that. And he was like, and this is a scientific thing. He proved this. He was like, yeah, like these water. It's not called watermarks.
Just
you
say
know what I mean?
erosion. I don't really know.
The erosion on these constructs proves that Egypt is way older because it's not. Now the pyramids might be built at a different time, but these two things were built way before any Egypt, like or any things that we perceive as Egypt being in that time period was built basically. And that's like another thing too is like, you know, we don't know everything about history or even our world. Like Egypt might be way older than we think. Like who knows, right? So it's just a crazy thing. I love history, man. I love history.
Dude, you just gave me like a theory. I just came up with this in my head. So when you were explaining about the whole canyon where it used to be water and then it keep on sinking.
Yep.
What if Earth was the same thing happened? Maybe we had like 20 times more water than we had.
Oh, yeah.
Then, like because of the sun, it just evaporates all the water, and then we got to the point where now there's land, which is the bottom of the core of the Earth.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe the Sphinx wasn't made while it was on land. It was made while it was underwater.
Like Atlantis? No,
I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there.
No. So you're right. If and this is actually something that scientists believe to be true. The Sahara Desert.
Okay.
They all think that was underwater at some point.
Really?
That it was just the bottom of the fucking ocean, and that it wasn't there, forever. That sometime in Pangea or whatever the fuck it was, that was covered with water,
Right.
and it was just there was an ecosystem that was there before. Now it's just a desert.
Shit.
So it's another thing that's interesting too. And about the underwater thing, this ties into the alien things as well, like coming out of the water in California. Another thing that we have not explored, I think it's like it's a percentage. If you look this up again, it'll be on the internet. We've only explored, I think, like in the low teens or like the 10% or even lower than that percent of our ocean. we don't know what the fuck is down there, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's because, like, we don't have any technology that we could send some dude down there and him not get crushed.
Right.
Because of the, technology. These aliens might be Atlantis.
Just chilling.
And they're just chilling
chilling
underwater,
down,
and, like,
yeah.
they could sustain anything. And, like, we're the land monkeys, and, like, they've evolved way beyond us, right? Maybe, like, when the continent split or something, there's guys that just went underwater and they evolved in a different way than we did. Yeah. And they just are way more advanced than us. Who knows?
Maybe.
So.
Dude, have you seen some videos of like those crazy creatures they find underwater?
Yeah.
Have you seen the big ass squid?
Yes, dude.
With a tentacle that's like freaking 30 feet long?
Yeah.
Bro, you don't know what the hell's down there.
You don't know what's down there, man. You have no idea.
The whole.
Is it worth finding out?
I mean,
human curiosity is gonna get us there eventually.
I'm curious.
I'm really curious too.
Is there a downside?
I mean,
opening a can of worms.
Just some creepy fish.
I think there's a downside to waking up Godzilla. Yes, I mean because we don't have the. He seems nice in movies where he saved Tokyo from King Kong, right? Great movies. Godzilla vs. Kong, great movie. I love cheesy movies, but I don't think if we found a 10-story tall space lizard underwater that he would be friendly, to be honest with you. I think he would be fucking pissed off that we wake him up from his nap.
Hey, yo, what are you doing down there?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it would be that at all.
Yeah.
So, who knows, man? I mean, there's so much things that we haven't discovered, and that's why I love, and I'm appreciative of the fact that I live in the time that I do. Dude. Is because we're gonna find out so many cool things about our world. I'm gonna live through some life-changing event. I'm willing to put money on that right now. Come back to this podcast in years when somebody fucks an alien for the first time. Like, something crazy is gonna happen like that, where we're gonna, like, meet aliens, or we're gonna go underwater and find fucking Aquaman or some shit. Like, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, like...
The lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Stuff like that's just so crazy to think about. And that's why I don't... And this goes back to something I said way earlier. That's why I don't really give a fuck about... I used to care a lot about politics, but that's why I don't give a fuck anymore, right? Because, like,
just banking on there being bigger things out there.
Yeah, and also too, another thing too is I just try to focus on myself.
Yeah,
I just try to work out, have fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to disconnect from the media.
Yeah.
I feel you, man. I'm trying to do the same.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about earlier with the media pilled. That goes into the dating too. Like, even myself, I fall into the same trap. I'm like, I'm not ripped enough or something like that, or like. That's how guys create unrealistic expectations too, like because they see girls with the big booty or the perfect figure, and it's like, that's all it is on Instagram. If you go on Instagram, it's not like you're going to see besides your immediate friends, right? Like, I wouldn't say every single one of my friends is a model. Definitely not.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful, man, because a lot of the shit that you see is in Miami. There's like a whole totally different planet compared to what we deal with over here. We have regular people. People in Miami, they're like a whole different creature. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like you said,
creature.
Yeah,
no, I mean, like you said, like all the girls in there, literally every one of them has an OnlyFans or Instagram and all that stuff, right?
I mean,
so we don't have.
It's so easy to generalize, but
I mean, he's right though. I mean, anyone that I've ever known that's lived in like a place like that it's way more polarized. That they have all these. They're trying to be like if you just airdropped me and a girl in North Carolina right now, present day, and they're like, all right, well, you guys are the only ones that can make babies and evolve, and they airdropped somebody else and a girl from Miami, we'd evolve in two separate ways. we would not be the same human, right. So.
It's true. I mean, it also depends, because I'm sure there's people here in North Carolina just like that are the same, like just Miami edition.
Yeah, I think you're right.
A bit tanner, a bit more Cuban.
All right, guys. So we had to take a little quick bathroom break, but we're back now. We're resuming the podcast.
We're live.
We're live again.
We're live.
Back.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think the world and just whenever someone bangs an alien or we have an encounter or something like that, it's gonna be sweet when it happens. I'm here for
how do you know it hasn't already happened?
Oh, it could have. Dude, I could be half alien.
He means like definitive evidence of it happening.
Yeah, like, literally like a Kim Kardashian porno of this dude slamming an alien. Or the alien slamming some girl. Who knows? Like, who knows? Like,
Skeet Davidson on Alien.
Yeah, literally Pete Davidson, like, literally wins the beef over Kanye by smashing an alien.
Bro, I keep having, like, these stupid, idiotic thoughts, but, like, okay, if you're an alien, right? And you met human beings and you're a part of society, right? And then all of a sudden, you found out this website called Bad Dragon, where they're making dildos out of like what they perceive as an alien's penis. You know, they were like, "This is what you think my penis looks like? What the hell is this?"
Who knows, man? I don't know.
What if aliens have dicks that are just like shaped exactly like a human? Like it's a sentient like human
with hair on his head?
What?
Yeah, literally, that's where the phrase "little guy" comes from. Because aliens in Egypt, it was like they have a little guy. They're like, "We're evolved beings. Look at this!" And you pull down their pants, and it was literally just fucking like Kanye West. Like, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm this alien's dick.
Oh
like,
I mean, go as far as your imagination takes you. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think I started getting into this stuff because I liked dinosaurs as kids, and like I think
dinosaurs are fire.
Yeah, dinosaurs are so gas. And it stemmed from that. I just kind of like history too. You know. Trying to think if anything else interesting I know about that could go off like the topic of like us discovering stuff. Like,
okay, maybe I got something for us to talk about. Just question. So, which is scarier? Us being the only life form, you know, which is Earth, or there are other life form? Which one is scarier?
So I think that question. So to answer your first question, I think it's us being the only life form because like that means that we only have like one chance, right? That maybe there's not. I'm not saying that if there's another, even if there was another Earth out there millions of light years away, that we didn't know about that, and that they would even evolve in the same thing like us. But that's kind of scary to think about. Like, you know, if we got death beamed by aliens, we're the only one things here. But I think also though, it's a statistical improbability.
Yep.
For us to be the only life forms in the whole universe. Now, not saying that we will never, or excuse me, that we will ever discover another planet with life, right? But yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot more scary.
I mean, just uncertainty with what like the other life forms could be about, really.
Yeah.
They could want to do anything.
Yeah.
They could be anything. Like, at least we're certain in humanity, like, right?
Yeah.
It's only like an upper limit currently, at least as we know it.
Yeah.
To what can happen.
I mean,
versus like a, well, you know, like a Death Star or something just pulls up and just blows Earth away. That's a lot more like scary of a thought than nukes, right?
Yeah,
like,
but
if there's a Death Star in the sky,
right.
we know that
what is
a
that?
Death Star. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that's crazy. But what the only thing about that is we've been around. There's only two, like, I guess not solutions or maybe or two like thesis that goes behind that, right? Either one, they're on the same math as us and they just haven't found us yet, and they're just going by and drive by hella planets with people on them. Who knows? Or two, which I think is actually the more probability, and probably already has happened. I think somebody has had an encounter with aliens. Somebody definitely has. In the history of the entire world, thousands of years, stemming back to like when people were running around in loincloths, somebody definitely has some sort of encounter with an alien or seen an alien ship, right? Something like that, right?
I don't know, man.
Dude, I think so. I think, and I'm not even talking about a Tic Tac ship. I'm not even talking about like some alien gets beamed down and like
a gray man.
Yeah, I'm not talking about a gray man comes and like posts up LeBron James and dunks on him or something like that. No, I'm talking about like, I truly believe it's very improbable for someone not to have had a contact with an alien of some sort. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass and I'm wrong, but we've been around for so long. I mean, all these things that we're talking about before with Egypt and about how
wait. What is your definition of too long? That's what I'm saying. We've been around for like 2,000 years.
What'd you say?
We've only been around for like so many years, right?
Well,
so what is your definition of too long? We've been here for too long. Like,
I don't think we've been here for too long.
I don't think we've been here long enough for them to like visit us. I'm on the opposite side of that.
I mean,
dude,
Earth has been around for billions of years, right?
Yeah, but like, what about human record? You know, like none of it matters. Like,
I mean,
okay,
like,
aliens.
there's people that made human record of like checking out dragons, right?
Yeah.
Like in unicorns and shit. So, are those valid accounts?
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
I'm sure. Also, like, I'm sure somewhere, whether it was like destroyed or not, existed at some point in time an account of someone potentially meeting what they perceived as an otherworldly being. Like even people like encountering angels in the Bible, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Is that those could be aliens?
Could be.
Hypothetically.
Wait, so I also heard this theory that like alien visited Germany and gave Adolf Hitler and his scientists all the technology.
I heard that too.
What do you think about that?
Did they have advanced tech? I don't have any knowledge on it.
So so this is unincluding the alien thing for a second, which I have heard that too, right?
Right.
Which I don't know if it's true or not, but when World War II ended, the way that we made nukes is because we took all the German scientists and we're like, build nukes. Like it's not like making a nuke was a known trade or an atom bomb, I guess at that time, right?
Right.
Was a known trade. We took the best scientists in the world, and they were all from Germany. They're all German scientists,
right?
Like the Eisenhower project, stuff like that. That's I think what I believe that was the first atom bomb. That all came from Germany, and I did hear that thing too. Which I don't know. They might just be really smart. Like, and
I think it makes sense.
Like that's
not the alien thing,
but yeah, no. They when we killed Hitler, or he killed himself, whatever. We took all the scientists and that we built the nukes.
Like if that country's the one to have the breakthrough on like this technology, it makes sense for them like to be the ones developing it in other countries, right?
Yeah, and
like, if they don't share the knowledge, then how's are other people going to learn about it?
Yes,
and if there's a breakthrough and if they keep it to themselves, that's not, you know what I mean? It's not that outlandish that only like this group of people that had this breakthrough in their own contained environment are the only ones working to create products with this breakthrough.
Yes, and also too, if you think about it as well, the timeline that I'm talking about, right, that we got the scientists after the war, but if you're thinking about it now, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. So we used atom bombs in World War II, right? I think what actually had happened, right, was there were some defectors from Germany that we took, and they basically got to our front gate. I mean, I'm not saying that they just came here and they're like, "Oh, who are you? You're a scientist." But in whatever way it happened, they got here and they're like, "Okay, well, you're a fucking war criminal. Tell me one reason why I shouldn't, lock you up." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I could build a weapon.
Immense power.
I could literally give you the power of God. Like I could literally have you give you the power to blow up 2 cities instantaneously." And they're like, "Oh, cool." And that's like literally what we did. We took them in and we, tragically blew up 2 cities, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely heard that too. That Hitler. I heard another thing too. Like this is even crazier than that. But on topic of the aliens, I heard that the lead. I don't think this is true, but this is like a theory that some people had, and I don't know where it stemmed from, but that the lead, not scientists, but like the leaders of Germany, Nazi Germany, like Hitler, and there was Heinrich Himmler, right? And then there were some other guys too. The way that they communicated with these aliens, or that they even had this brilliant war plan, or whatever. Because I mean, I don't agree with Hitler, obviously, but the Blitzkrieg and stuff, that was the last successful land invasion of any country in the past 100 years. Like if you're thinking about now, and I was even talking to Toby about this when this was happening, I thought Russia was going to speed run Ukraine and literally just take it over and be like,
right, within 2 days.
Yeah, they were because I remember there was on the first night or something, there was bombs going off in Kiev, right, the capital, and I was like, oh, it's over, World War III is going to start. But now it obviously, and I don't want to stem too far, but it's not that way. The Blitzkrieg was really successful. They literally took over Poland in 2 days. They got there and were like, yeah, this is ours now. France surrendered. They were taking over, everything, and the only reason they lost is because they got extended to Russia. But again, I'm not going to do a history lesson, right? I heard that the leaders took a DMT.
Oh, I'm not surprised now. Okay, I can believe this.
DMT aliens gave them
yes, and DMT aliens literally gave them the strategies.
I think I've heard this before. You're right. Okay, I've heard this before. Yeah,
and Hitler. That's why Hitler was crazy, because he was just souped up on DMT all the time, talking to aliens, and fucking getting all these crazy fucking ideas from aliens. And this goes into another thing about DMT. I've never taken DMT, even though honestly I kind of.
But you know enough.
I know enough about it.
Right. Where
apparently there's this thing that people. I watched a thing about this. People that take DMT says basically all the experiences when people take DMT are not the same, but
Right.
roughly the same. And this is what they
The
this
wood
is what they
elves, the wood robot or something like that.
Yes,
right?
yes. The
that?
mechanical. It's like a mechanical robot.
Something like that.
It's,
What is that?
So it's basically like whenever someone takes DMT,
Yeah.
which DMT is like it's like a drug. It's basically, I think what it is, it's like the chemical in your brain that like helps you have dreams, and it's like basically in a concentrated thing. You take it,
Okay.
and you're basically like tripping balls, basically. The difference between if you're taking acid or shrooms, right? And I have no experience with either of these, but when you take those, right? Apparently you like see distorted images and stuff like that, or like
You're tripping.
excuse me, like maybe I'll like, look at your face.
You're tripping, pretty much.
Excuse me, and it looks melted or something. Whereas DMT, everyone reports kind of that they're talking to something, and I'm not talking about like
Really?
I take DMT and then Toby turns into like an alien. I'm talking about like me and Toby are right here and we both take DMT. And there's an alien sitting next to you, and he's telling us to.
Did we talk to both of us the same conversation with the alien?
Really?
That's what people say is that when they take DMT together, they're both able. It's like they're interconnected or some shit, and they're talking to something.
That's very crazy.
And that's what people say with the Hitler thing is that there's two types of beings that you talk to when you're on DMT. It's like the good, like positive energy, like I'm here to influence your lives. And people,
Is that the mechanical elves?
yes,
It was the
yes,
that's
mechanical. I knew it was something like that. Mechanical.
I thought it was like wooden robot or something. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, mechanical elves.
You're
I
right.
remember
You're
that.
right. So, and people say that there's either like really good spirits or there's like evil ones that say like
shit.
that say fucked up shit. That's like you have to like destroy all this shit, and that
So it turns you schizophrenic for a bit.
basically,
Yeah.
and that's what that was. I think Joe Rogan talked about this. I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan. I think he talked about this. He took DMT with somebody else. And he didn't talk to like an evil, like he didn't talk to Darth Vader. He talked to like some good one or something, and like they were like, "Oh, positivity and shit."
Whimsical woods elf.
Yeah, like some shit like that. Like literally
Like
some
the
like
Keebler elf or some shit.
yeah, like some fucking thing from WoW. The fucking the things on the four legs, the little not the satyrs, but the woman ones, the fucking the sprites or whatever. Like hi, like like all that shit, like the great outdoors, all that shit. Like it's like that. So you talk to one of those basically.
But two of them at the same time. Like two different dudes.
Two different dudes. Joe Rogan
Talking about the same guy.
and they were talking to the same thing, and they're like, "Oh, that was cool." Like
Casually?
What the fuck?
That would literally fuck me up forever. I
So
feel
think about if Hitler literally took DMT and
him and all of his generals.
him and all his
all
generals, they're in a
scientists.
room and fucking the spawn of Satan is there telling him he's like, kill the Jews, take over the world, burn these people.
Build
like,
these nukes. Here's
yeah,
how you do it.
Yeah, like that would be crazy. And that's another thing too, this is going on back to the aliens thing. That's some people think that DMT, it's not just a drug. It's like a gateway to another dimension.
Gateway, yeah.
And like it's like literally like you just take it and like this thing in front of me, like maybe right now there's an alien talking to me. I'm here. Like you're right. Like or whatever. I don't think it's right, but that there's literally a gateway to another dimension, and like it opens up and it's there, and that's how you talk to it. That's what aliens come from. Is that they somehow have figured out a way to manipulate it where they could just like hop through dimensions like fucking Thanos and like all this shit. Like It's yeah. DMT is crazy, dude. I don't think I'd ever do DMT. I feel like I would be the guy to not saying that I would do anything, but I would probably talk to fucking like Emperor Palpatine or some shit. Like say some
Why
fucked up
is that
shit.
illegal?
DMT?
It's a drug.
I mean, I just don't.
That's
I was
all
thinking
it is.
about that yesterday. I don't do really any drugs. I don't even really care for drinking. But I never understood why is it illegal to do a drug if it hurts just yourself.
Well, you kind
know?
of have to figure out who benefits from like banning it.
Who
You know,
benefits from
like the government. Okay. If the whole populace all of a sudden decided to take DMT and then everyone's talking to these mechanical elves, and the mechanical elves are saying like rebel against your government.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I mean just
You're
for
saying
example,
like
I'm
if
just
all
throwing it out
of
there.
like all of a
Yo,
Drake
yo.
concert takes DMT and they're all just talking to Tupac's ghost or something, saying, "Yo,
Dude,
rise the fuck up."
Dude, think about this too. There's another theory I heard, which the DMT things are a little bit crazy. Right? I don't believe any of this shit. Like I'm kind of like on the alien train of like at least we've had some interaction with them. There might be from another dimension. They might have other technology, whatever. I think that there's definitely we've had alien interactions, right? And I don't believe in this is DMT. Think about another theory I've heard too that aligns with the Hitler thing, right? About him and all of them taking DMT.
Right.
Is the reason why it's illegal is because like and this is kind of a funny ass image in our head. All the world leaders that are like, you know, it's not the Illuminati. I don't think the Illuminati is real, but actually, I do think the Illuminati is real. But anyway,
I don't.
no,
Skull and Bones?
I have Illuminati story. I'll tell those next. They're about other confirmed things too about the Illuminati, about people who are crazy. But anyway, people say that world leaders just take DMT. And, like, they're talking to aliens, and that's how, like, they have strategies. Like, Joe Biden and Kamala are fucking tripping balls, like, talking to somebody.
They're talking to the mechanical rails, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
But, yeah, that's...
No, so here's my theory. So, when you take DMT, we know that there are more senses that human beings are not able to comprehend. Like, heat vision. Or, X-ray. Or whatever. I'm just making shit up. Like, there are creatures like bats that can read, like, sonars and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, we don't have that capability. So, what if we were... we only know what we know from like our eyes, from all the senses. But like, what if somebody added a new sense for you to like unlock? You wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. You think it looks like an elf, but it could be like literally God, and then but you perceive it as whatever, just because you only know what you know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. And again, too, like what you're saying about perceiving as God. Another thing with DMT is people in the Bible think that like some of the angel encounters or something, like people. Like somehow got exposed to DMT or something, and like they were like skizzing out, like for lack of better words, and talking to fucking like God, like on the top of the mountain, like when I believe it was Abraham that went to the top of the mountain, talked to God. It's in the Bible. I think it's Abraham or Moses or something. One of his sons or Moses. There's a thing in the Bible where he goes to the top of a mountain and speaks to God. Okay. Because backstory of it in the Bible is that people were worshiping a cow, and that's one of the. I think it's like one of the.
False idols is like one of the commandments.
That's one of the 10 commandments. You can't worship a false idol. Like I can't worship that that book. He went to the top of the mountain and he's talking to God, and that's how like they said that a God like zapped in the Bible. They said like he like had like this tablet, and Abraham brought it up there, and he just like lightninged it, and like all the 10 commandments are on there. People think that maybe in the Bible, if it is real, that when he went to the top of the mountain, he was just tripping nuts on fucking DMT, and something that he was speaking to was like, "Oh, you can't do these things," and then he wrote it down.
I have what I think is a great question on DMT. Because people, I've heard that you can only dream about people and things that you have seen with your own eyes. Like your brain,
I've heard that same thing.
Dreaming, you can't make your own things up. So where do the DMT? You know what I mean? Like, where do they come from? Or is it just things that you've already seen? Like, would it just be like a talking candle jar?
Yeah.
I have no idea. No, I haven't researched it at all.
No, you're right about that.
So, like, does your brain actually make its own things up, or is it just recycling things?
So that's what I was going to say is that we don't really know much about DMT. We don't really know much about it. All we know is that it's the chemical in your brain. How long has it existed? Yeah. I don't really know.
But there are probably somebody knows what DMT is, but they probably don't want to reveal that to the public. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
For sure. No, you're totally right. I've heard that same thing with the dreams. Like, it's also for experiences too. Like I remember, like when I was a virgin, I would never dream about having sex, and then I had sex, and then not saying I dreamed about it the next night, but I have had that dream before, right? Okay. It's about experiences and stuff like that too. So that's another thing with DMT too, is that when Hitler or Joe Rogan, I don't think Joe Rogan ever saw a fucking spirit before. He definitely, and him and the dude that they took the DMT with, they had the similar experience of talking to this thing, and it definitely didn't exist. If Hitler really talked to fucking Satan, he's never met Satan before. I mean, he's probably down there right now getting ass fucked by Satan, but he never talked to him before, So I think it could be truly a gateway to another dimension, and I don't know.
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of these drugs, like acid, mushroom, DMT, all that stuff, they all have a commonality where it expands our perception of stuff, right?
Yep.
So, and I don't remember where I heard this. I heard this from a friend, I think. But imagine the first caveman. Like he was just wandering around, just looking for food, and all of a sudden he just picks up like a magic mushroom, and he ate it. Right, and with that, like he gained new knowledge, and he, something happened in his head where he might have talked to God, and he learned new technology, and then like, the same shit happened with Germany. The same shit happened with Abraham, where they were just tripping, and like because they tripped, they were able to like produce solutions to the problem that they're having at the present time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I mean you're right, and another thing too is like in the Bible, the burning of the bush in the desert when who was in the desert? Was it Jesus that was in the desert for 40 days? It was
40 days and 40 nights.
It was the 40 days. There was a. I forget.
I'm not a very religious person. I think that is Jesus.
I think it is Jesus. There was he's in part of the Bible is he has a journey. Okay. He's in the desert for 40 days, and
follow the stars.
Yeah, and there's a thing. There's like a sign he had from God and it was a burning bush, and people think that maybe Jesus was just tripping DMT too. And I mean, I know this is crazy. I don't really think
I think
that.
forest fires too, right? Random wildfires.
Yeah, could be that.
Could be. Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? Who knows? It's crazy to think about. It's just another thing that's like undiscovered. And then there's like, what was that? What was that FBI project thing where they just superdose people with acid? Do you know about that?
I heard about it. Yeah.
Like MK Ultras.
Yes.
MK Ultra,
Yes.
that's the one.
Yes. So do you guys know about that?
I don't know the details. I don't.
So my brother is really into conspiracies and stuff like this too, and he talked about this one time. It's basically like I think it was at some Ivy League school. I think it was like Stanford or something like that, or some college in California, I believe. Yeah. And it was like a thing that you could sign up for your college credit. And what they did, it was literally the FBI, and they were just like fucking locking people in like some basement somewhere. And they literally just had them on acid for like weeks at a time.
Sheesh.
And all these people, like most of the people fucking killed themselves, like went nuts.
Dang.
Like it's like a real thing that happened. They just were like had to fucking test it out on somebody. So they're like, yeah, like these kids are fucked. And like literally, it's a real thing. You look it up. That's a real thing, right? That actually happened. MK Ultra is a real thing that happened. It's been very well documented.
That is crazy.
That they literally made these people lose their fucking minds off of acid. Right, because they wanted to see what it would do. Maybe they're like us right now, and
I mean, wait. So what was the result of it though?
I think it was
Taking hella acid would make you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe, and this is another thing too. I've never even heard this theory. Maybe they did the same thing with DMT, and they figured out that it is a gateway to another dimension. That's why we don't fucking know about it. Like the reason why MK Ultra was declassified because a lot of people fucking died.
Is a lot redacted? I don't.
MK Ultra? No, you could literally look.
All,
you could look up on
every
what?
detail of its public?
Look, I'm pretty sure you can find all the details on YouTube. Somebody probably made a video explaining everything.
It's like
bro.
they say
if you look it up-
it's declassified, right? But that's just they sent a bunch of stuff out, but they could easily have just left tons of information out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's when it touches into like conspiracy type shit.
For sure. I mean, who knows, man? But I mean, maybe they just did the same thing with DMT, and they figured out that Hitler really was talking to fucking aliens and shit like that. And that's why we don't know. I mean, who knows?
Tap in Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, literally. Jeez, man. Shit. Fucking crazy. Maybe Elon Musk tripped fucking DMT and some alien taught him how to make a Tesla.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah.
Yo, have you guys ever driven in a Tesla though?
I've not. My friend has one. Have you?
Yeah, I have. My cousin James has a Tesla, bro. It's like it's a mobile phone.
Yeah.
It's exactly like it has the touch screen, all that shit.
Yeah.
And like, I was told that the engine was so quiet that like people feel weird about that, and so they had to artificially make the noise of an engine.
Yeah.
And then like something similar happened to like the vacuum cleaner. Somebody invented a vacuum cleaner that doesn't make noise, and because it didn't make noise,
They don't think it's working.
they don't think it's working, so they had to artificially make the noise. But that's just my little ramble from.
No,
I'd take a quiet vacuum.
Yeah. So
Well, as a consumer, you didn't know that. I guess it turned them off. They don't think it works. I don't know. It's haptic feedback. As a user, you have to know if your thing's working.
It's like a keyboard. You press a key, you hear a noise.
Yeah, you hear it, and then you hear it, you assume that it works.
Yeah.
Kind of sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
That's why I like when a TV makes noise, you turn it off.
Yeah. The only experience I have with the Tesla is my buddy Ryan has one, and I think the one cool thing is with it. One cool thing is with it is like, you ever seen fucking Batman where he
driving
presses
Tesla?
the thing on his wrist? No, he's not even driving. He's like literally like he just like beat the shit out of the Joker, right? And he's like running out of like the explosion or whatever. And this is a really dumb way of explaining it, but he like presses something on his wrist and the Batmobile like shows up, right? Tesla has that. It's called Tesla Summon, where literally I was at a Korean restaurant with him and he pressed the thing on his keys and his car literally just drove up and was like, fuck it.
Is that legal?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's kind of fucked
I
up.
thought there was like a rule on self-driving. There has
Dude,
to be a human presence to monitor it.
see,
Well-
how do you come up with shit like this, man? Like DMT.
Yeah.
There's literally no other. There's no other natural solution.
DMT is literally Ben Franklin and fucking Thomas Edison took DMT and made
Yeah,
it
the
like
DMT demon was like, put a key on the kite.
Yeah. Turn your phone to a car, Elon.
And another thing I know about Tesla too is that because he goes on trips, whenever he has to drive out of state, like on a 6-hour drive, he rents another car.
What?
Yeah, because you could only have like 200 some miles.
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
a
yeah,
gas tank,
yeah.
And then you have to fill up or something.
That's what Alex was saying as well.
Yeah, our
Huge
friend
problem.
went on a trip and was like, it sucked driving on the strip because a 7-hour trip turned into 10-hour because
Shit.
he had to stop every
Like 2 hours.
every
right?
2 hours
Need to
fill up.
recharge, right?
Yeah.
Dang, that fucking sucked.
Yeah. So And I think I would never own a Tesla too because I'm one of those assholes that like drives an empty for 2 days. And with a Tesla, when it's empty, motherfucker, it's empty. You're sitting there.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get towed to the next.
Oh, okay, look, you just gotta play smart, bro. Would you rather do that or pay $5 for gas? I'm just saying. You know, especially right now. You know.
Are you talking about like having an electric car?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean?
So
Yeah,
I
gas
heard
is $5, dog. Okay,
I got,
some
like,
places are.
I filled up in Maryland before I came here this weekend, $3.68 a gallon.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying too. Apparently, actually at Costco too. If anybody has a Costco card, it's $3.79 at Costco.
Damn.
And yeah, I don't
How
know.
do they
So-
keep getting away with it?
Who knows?
I think on average in Charlotte, or at least where I'm at, it's like 420,
Yeah,
419.
Yeah, where I live in Virginia, it's probably around 430, 435.
Bro, I see some places charging like $7-8, bro.
That's
Oh
crazy, man.
hell no.
Where, like LA?
I don't know, but imagine you're being a trucker, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, trucker. It's
yeah.
not like you're using your
Hell
own gas,
no.
right?
That's
Or
work
you're
right
using
now.
your own money, though, right?
Well, so our work, the work that I do, at least our company, we that's the thing that we had to like actually like do like this like amendment recently too, and without divulging too much of the thing.
Eco-friendly thing is what you're talking about?
Not that. It was basically like we have a percentage. So I think in all companies do this. We have a percentage of the. So we pay a trucker like let's just say it's $100 to go from A to B, right?
Right.
And then also in the past, and I'm pretty sure other companies do this too because I see truckers using the same terminology. They pay also on top of that percentage of the fuel. So they're like we're paying you $100 to go here, and also we need this much money or this much percentage of that for the fuel.
Okay.
And some of our truckers were mad because we weren't giving them enough on fuel, so we had to do some amendment thing where we pay them enough now, basically. And I think I don't think that was a thing relative to where we work, but I think other
Still,
places
I mean, it's
do.
interesting to learn.
Yeah, it's interesting to learn. And obviously we fixed it and it's totally fine now, but truckers are mad about it, and rightfully so. I mean, they have to pay so much money for gas, and with how heavy the stuff is, and how far it is. I mean, yeah.
Bro, just to circle back from what we talked about from all the way from the beginning, bro. Like, men are important. You know, without the men being the truck driver, without the engineers, without the people that claim putting down the cement, you know, like, will we even have a society?
Probably
you know,
not.
like, I mean, like, I want to. I'm on the trucker side, but at the same time, honestly, I don't know enough about like what the hell's going on with them, why they doing the whole protest and all that stuff. But that's beside the point. The point is, I at least acknowledge that these truckers are very damn important. They're so important.
Oh, I agree. They're an integral part of our society for sure.
My dad's a trucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, that's people just have to do some of those jobs. It's very respectable. I mean, I don't know how much your dad gets paid, and even if you do know, obviously don't divulge it. But I mean, like, they get paid a good amount of money from what I know, depending on where they live.
Bro, cause like I don't know, man. When that whole protest shit happened, man, people were talking about like, oh man, go to Harris Teeter, get all the food now, because we're not gonna get anybody transporting our food to Harris Teeter's anymore. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
crazy.
the thing is though, is that they get paid so much that right now that a lot of the truckers, I think the reason why that protest didn't end up working out is because like not all of them did it, right? Is because regardless of what you think, there were some truckers that were just like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not losing my livelihood of thousands and thousands of dollars just for some
Right.
thing, right? So, but yeah.
All right, we're just gonna roll with the punches. Just had to take a little quick bathroom break. Honestly, I can't remember what the hell we were talking about.
Fuck.
Something about like the trucker situation.
The trucker shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's pretty much all my thought about it. I don't really have much else to say about that.
Yeah. I don't either. I mean, fuck. I mean,
It's really annoying. Like, imagine having to commute and then just like they're hurting their own livelihoods, but maybe they're just so well off it doesn't matter. Then you just have these people that are maybe getting by paycheck to paycheck, and they're like, wow, I can't get to work now.
yeah.
You know, I guess they just maybe they did back then and they just don't care or what.
Who knows? Maybe they were going to talk to Canada and then fucking aliens were like, nah, there's protests. We don't fuck with them anymore or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but random thought.
Man, I would be like a terrible truck driver, bro. Like, I damn near passed out on the way back from the trip. I only drove like 2 hours to Asheville. I was getting so tired from like from all the massage. And like I guess I was dehydrated, but like I would have fallen asleep. I have back problems. I have to wear the glasses just to drive. There's no way now I can be a truck driver, bro. That's I'm too much of a weenie.
Dozing off for 2 hours.
Okay, look, it was after like 4 or 5 hours of massage, bro. You get tired. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nobody sponsored me for saying this, but like on the way back, we hit like the best, like literally one of the best Mexican restaurant I ever encountered, and like and Megan told me all this, and it was kind of funny, but she was saying like it's a good Mexican restaurant if they have pictures on the seats, and if they serve you fried beans instead of like the regular dip, and like this place was like super fucking legit, bro. It was awesome. Yeah, I ordered like 3 tacos, and then I put like a little description of it in the. I'll put the link in the description later, just if anyone ever interested. But
I think the best Mexican place I've been to is when we went to Puerto Rico. We went to that Mexican place with like the bars and the doors.
I don't remember the name of it.
I don't remember the name of it either. We went to Puerto Rico in December. It was fun, and there was like this one. It was like in a sketchy spot. It was like, literally this Mexican place with like bars in the window and
burglar bars.
Burglar bars, yeah.
And you have to like call to get in.
Yeah, you have to buzz in.
What?
Yeah. Puerto Rico was crazy, man. Have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I've been to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, no.
Oh, hold on.
You have. The restaurant. I think you told me when I was going that you went to San Juan.
Yeah, it was cool. But hold on. The restaurant is Cocula. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but yeah.
Shout out Kula.
Cocula.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Puerto Rico was fun. Dude, what was up with the water? They told me not to drink any of the tap water.
That's what we heard too.
What the fuck?
I was afraid of it.
But
you were with them?
Yeah, no, we went together. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Also like 7 other dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, we went to me and him though. So basically, it's funny. We go on trips and stuff like every once in a while.
Nice.
He's down here and stuff, and it's been having more frequently as we become better friends for sure. But he was like, we went on that Boston trip I was talking about, and he was like, "Oh, it was so fucking sick." And then he texted me one day at work. He's like, "Dude, Bad Bunny's gonna be in Puerto Rico in December. Let's buy tickets." And he bought me and him tickets on a whim. And we went to the concert, which was fucking amazing. Nice. We waited in line for 3.5 or 4 hours.
Oh, you told me a little bit of this.
Yeah. I was literally borderline dehydrated. Like everyone was pissed off. Like I was like, people thought I was trying to skip them and like got really mad at me. I don't speak Spanish. And I was just like,
dang.
I was like, yo, chill. Like I wasn't trying to cause any problems. But it was awesome. It was sweet. It was like. Apparently, when Bad Bunny came out, like people like fainted. Like there was like.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
really?
There was like.
It was hot. It was humid.
People have been there for a hot minute.
It was a long wait. The wait to get like water was insane. Like logistically, kind of a nightmare, but it was still a good time.
Oh yeah, it was sweet. Yeah, no, then we went to the rainforest too. It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I wish we saw a monkey. I didn't see a monkey.
Yeah, I went to the rainforest too, but I didn't see no damn creatures. Like nothing. It was like you can tell like the human took these paths just by like the ground. Yeah. So yeah, I think the creatures just avoided.
Like stay the fuck away.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Puerto Rico was fun, man. What the hell did I do? Did you go to the little town with all the old San Juan?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was sweet. We went to the fort. The fort there and all that shit. It was
nice.
Cool.
Dude, I got there and then there was a protest against the I think it was the mayor.
Really?
There. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
When did you go?
Huh?
When did you go?
Oh my god, I can't remember, but it was last year. Man, I feel dumb for talking about this because I can't remember the details. Like I know there was a protest against the mayor, but they were pissed off, so like they were like rallying at in front of his house, like just yelling throughout like 4 or 5 days, so he can't get any sleep. Yeah. So like. Yeah, he did something that was pissing the people off. I can't remember what it was. Something about the electric company was kind of like screwing over the people, and like okay, never mind. Yeah, ignore my story. I can't remember detail. If I say something, it's gonna be all wrong. But it's there was a protest. Is the point?
Okay,
so that was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ours was just we went to the Bad Bunny concert. We went out a few nights. We went to Rainforest.
Chilled on the beach.
Chilled on the beach. Yeah.
Nice.
It was fun. We went with some of my close friends, but
bro, the water was clear as hell.
The water there is like a hot tub.
Dude, that shit was lit.
Yeah, there was in San Juan, like it was like kind of like all right, but then we went to this one spot after the rainforest place, and it was like fucking like it was like a pool almost. Like, it was so clear. It was awesome. Sweet.
Dang, man. What do you guys got in mind for the next vacation?
I am going on a cruise with my family in May, going to I think like the Caribbean on a cruise.
Ooh, okay.
Have you guys ever been on a cruise?
Hell no. I want to eventually.
So let me tell you one thing that's sweet about, or let me fill you on cruises. The only one I've been on is I went on Norwegian, and Norwegian is cool because like every other cruise, right? They have excursions and stuff, right? And there's like little things you could schedule. Like, I have a story about excursion, but I'll say. But the one thing that's cool about Norwegian, again, it was cool, was you could do anything pretty much at any time. So like
on the cruise, you mean?
Yes, on cruises.
Okay.
So on other cruises, apparently there is times where you can eat and drink.
Oh,
right,
dude, that
and
sucks.
and like between like breakfast hours, lunch hours.
Right.
On Norwegian, you can at any time. So
Right.
literally, you could just pop in there whenever. It was cool. That was a big draw to
2
it.
a.m. I want breakfast
Yeah,
now.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
There's literally always someone in there like cutting off like a roast piece or something. It was sweet.
Shit.
It was sweet.
Like a chef with like the knife cutting the ham at a buffet.
Yeah. So my story about the cruise though is there was these excursions. Not all of them are going off the ship. There's like special dinners and stuff you go to, and there's this one where there's a magician.
Ooh.
And he was good at hypnosis, and then like obviously the typical sleight of hand, like, oh, this thing is in my hat, now it's not,
Right.
Like that, right? So he did this typical sleight of hand thing, and then his like finale was he's like, yeah, I want to pick 2 guests from the audience and hypnotize them.
Ooh.
So, and I don't know if the other person was a plant, but I definitely wasn't. I was wearing this very colorful shirt, and he pointed at me. He's like, "Do you want to go up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it." So I went up, and I got hypnotized. It was pretty crazy. It was like something.
Wait, do you remember any details or like?
Yes. So I went up and I was blindfolded.
Okay.
And the other person was blindfolded as well. And he basically made us he was like, all right, like you pat your head, and I patted my head or rub my tummy. I forget which one I did. You know how like when you
Yeah.
you like people say that you can't rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time or something. So I did one of those, and the other person did the other thing too. And there was other stuff that happened too that was kind of cool, but this was the coolest thing.
Okay.
And then when I was patting my head and the other person was doing the other thing, or vice versa, I can't remember which one it was. He like did his hypnosis thing, and then even though I wasn't using my other arm, I felt it. What the other person was doing, and like nobody had touched me, and it was like, since I was blindfolded and I was in front of everybody, he was like, did it feel like, he was like, what just happened to you? He like, didn't say that like he was gonna make us do that. He's like, what just happened to you? He was like, well, I was like, I just rubbed my tummy and pat my head, and everyone was like, oh, because I didn't do that, and that was basically the gist of it. It was I think hypnosis is a real thing, right?
Oh,
but
shit.
that was it was kind of, I don't know how it happened, because I didn't have like some thing on me that.
Right. This wasn't staged.
No, it was not staged. It's not like I had like there was. It's not like he like dressed me up in something to where it could have been like a robot in my thing, like patting my tummy. It literally felt like my arm was moving and doing the thing, right? So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. That was cool. And other than that, I just
what was your like reaction after you got out? Did you get freaked out or like?
I was just kind of like bewildered. Honestly, I was like, oh, it's kind of crazy. And then it's a story to tell. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
The only other thing I did there is like I went on like a booze cruise type thing where it's like you get off at an island and you went snorkeling, and then you went back on like the catamaran boat, and they gave you like booze.
Dang.
It was pretty cool.
See, that's why I want to go on a cruise, bro. I told you it's actually really affordable.
Yeah, it is actually.
See?
For all the things you get. Yeah,
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because you pay for it, and it's room and board, and it's food,
Right.
and
I heard there's an alcohol pass.
so yeah, you have to buy the alcohol pass.
Yeah.
I think it's like I think for the one I'm going on, it's like 150 a person, which is like, if you think about it, if you don't buy that, right, like, fuck, like, if I get like 10 drinks at the bar, I might spend $150, depending on what it is, right?
Yeah. With tip.
With tip, yeah.
Yeah.
And that for the whole time, I mean, like, you just have to drink like 15 times for it to be worth it, right?
Right.
So I think I'm doing that. It's definitely worth it. What else?
My problem with the whole cruise is like the only one that are around the area is like in Charleston or in like Miami.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know?
I'm flying on. I'm
I was
flying
like,
to
fuck,
Miami,
dude.
I'm
I
flying
wish.
to Miami,
See,
so.
that's such an inconvenience for me, man. Because I would totally do the cruise like that, but like now go like add the layer of like the flight.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I'm terrible at planning. I want to go on a cruise one day though.
Yeah,
Norwegian
it's
for
sweet,
sure.
dude. I would definitely advise going on, and if you go on Norwegian for sure.
Right.
I'm going on the same ship actually that I went on last time. It was like a newer one apparently, this was back in 2015, I think. So
Okay.
I guess the ship is like it was apparently the maiden voyage I went on. Like but I guess the ship is 7 years old now at this point. So
Okay.
there was like a casino on board. There was a bunch of restaurants. It was like a mall type place. There was pool. There was a big basketball court. There was like a water slide. It was pretty cool. Gym. There's anything.
Pretty much everything. You can live. You can live there.
It's a floating city. That's
Right.
what it is. It's a floating city. That's
Right.
really what it is. And you don't feel, at least I didn't. You don't feel like the ship is rocking.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking big that like,
Ooh.
you know what I mean? Like it's like you're on an island and it's moving pretty much.
Dang.
So
That's cool. Have you ever been on a cruise, Toby?
No, the only boat I've ever been on was like one of those like tours around like the Golden Gate Bridge, like around Alcatraz.
How was that?
I'm not really a big fan of boats, but it was fun. Cool experience.
Yeah.
I would do a cruise, I would, but just,
It depends where it is. Like I was supposed to go to
exactly.
Greece. I guess I think I said this earlier, but I was supposed to go to Greece, but they changed it because I didn't want to get caught in the potential nuclear/alien conflict.
the DMT infused.
The DMT's alien nuclear Putin. So
Sure.
yeah, but that's my plan for the year. And I think I also have 3 weddings to go to. Actually, I was going to go to 4 weddings,
Okay.
but the 4th one is on the same day as another one, so I can't
Oh,
go.
damn, that sucks.
And I already committed myself to it.
Right.
The one that I'm going to is a college roommate of mine. He's a great guy, and I want to see him get married. But I almost kind of wish, part of me wished I was going to the other one because the other one is in California. And I haven't been there when I'm like, I went there when I was like 2. But like, you're barely even a sentient being, right? So you don't remember
You're
it.
not really even a sentient being.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
guys remember
DMT, bro.
anything for being 2?
Pretty much no.
Yeah. It's like DMT. You'll remember everything.
Yeah, no, so, but I'm going to, I think one of them is like in, 2 of them are in different parts of North Carolina. Another one is in Tucson, Arizona, which would be sweet. I've never been to Arizona, so
Okay.
it'll be fun.
Dang.
I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing I got really going on right now is this cabin trip. I got another cabin trip. Coming
Okay.
up in July.
Where you
So,
go?
Asheville, I think.
A lot of Asheville for you. Got
Yeah.
that?
Well, I mean, it wasn't on
Sounds
purpose. You know, I mean,
What's up?
it just happened to be the spot.
No, I was telling him, what I was saying is Asheville, a lot of people around here go to Asheville just for trips and stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
think our friend Alex went there.
There's a lot of cool like restaurants and like it's like downtown but like big. Yeah.
It's a lot of cool history,
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, I think right about now we should probably wrap it up. It's already been 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's
So,
like
but I think we had a good chat. You know,
Yeah.
like I mean, I got my ideas out of my head. There, I asked you guys like, what do you think women or what do you think men? What do you think women think men want?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got both of your perspective on that. So I mean,
Yeah,
it was good. It was good chat.
of course, man, yeah.
Any
Thanks for
last
having us
words
on.
for the?
Nah, I mean,
Fun to be on. Thanks for having us.
yeah, thanks for having us. It was
Especially
awesome.
me. I know I'm just like
Yeah,
intended just him, and I just made like a cameo appearance. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
were willing to have me on. I wasn't having to just chill
Yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah, no, I'm happy you brought us on. This is my first experience doing this. I'm glad you're doing it as well. It was fun, and glad to come on again sometime too. So
Yeah. You know, let's look forward to that. So, well, thank you guys for listening. Remember to hit like, subscribe. You like my stuff. Peace.